Hello everybody and welcome to the WardiTV Summer Cup Group C. You're going to see me for about half a second while I just make sure the webcam is working. And then we're going to go watch some StarCraft 2. I need to read some stream elements as well. Get that on the go. How's everyone doing today? Good to see you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And welcome to some games. Actually, yeah, genuinely looking forward to having a good time today. We're going to start it off with some PvP. And hello, like I say, we're just about getting started. We're just kicking off. It's always great. Let me just reset my goals. Oh, we even have other people casting today, so you guys aren't stuck with Wardy observing, which is always a major positive as well. Again, hope everyone is feeling great. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry for a little bit of a late start. I just needed a couple extra minutes before we kicked off. The players were still videoing. I mean, a late start, like we actually started as soon as the players are ready pretty much, but usually I come here and talk for a couple of minutes while we still wait for them to ready themselves and do their things and all of this and that, so yeah. What's up, every kind? Thank you so much for the just got a shiver. Thank you so much for the 80-month resub. Appreciate you big time. Thank you very much. Like I say, much appreciate it. We're doing great. As we have in the top right, Krystianer. In the bottom left, our blue Protoss Zoun. Going to be a bit of PvP for us to start the day. Q and Mixu, the other two players in this group, so definitely expecting kind of a fun one. I mean, again, when I talk about this group and what I think of it, I think it's really a group that can be definitely have some just sort of results that are a little bit everywhere. I don't think there's necessarily just one specific way this has to play out or anything, so yeah, I'd be interested to see kind of what the players bring. I mean, obviously Q and Zoun are the big favorites. Krystianer can absolutely cause an upset in amongst that. And then you've got, you know, a Mixu who, playing on a strong patch for Zerg, you never know, might just be able to get something done as well. So I think there's a few different factors to keep in mind there as we work our way through today and the games and all of that goodness. I'm probably moving around. Cybercore coming up from both players. The gateway is about to be done. Is it 2 gateways each? It is 2 gateways each. So you are seeing both players initially prioritizing the double gateway setup. And we're going to go straight into some tech from both players as well. A robo facility from one, a Stargate from the other, which is, I actually think, going to be kind of interesting to see where exactly that plays out exactly. We've got ourselves the robo facility and Stargate. So I actually, in the typical kind of rock, paper, scissors aspect of PvP, this is typically a good sign for the Stargate player because Robo doesn't really hit Stargate, you know? And Stargate is actually a really good answer to a lot of Robo stuff. So that is a lot of the time what we kind of see end up happening. Now, that's not a guarantee like this has to happen like this, of course. So that's going to be interesting. The Stargate is forward, the Robo's forward as well. So both players have that kind of more aggressive vibe to their game plan as well. The Stalkers of Krystianer are already going to be here catching this pylon and catching this Stargate to put some work in early. Feels like a big deal as we, like I say, get in and start to put some work in very early on. Just going to be seeing a couple of debs. Just going to shade back once again. Let's see the shutdown happens. So where do we end up with on this? We basically have no pylon. We do get the Oracle out, but they're still kind of looking good with the Robo facility on the map. I mean, I imagine we're going to get some aggression going very soon after this as well. So, kind of intrigued as to where exactly that leads us. I suppose we'll be seeing fairly soon what the outcome is going to be. I mean, it honestly feels very good for Krystianer. It feels like he has good potential to get across the map and be aggressive here as well with this scenario. So, liking a lot for Krystianer at the moment. We do have the 2 adepts on the other side. I mean, I say they're an annoyance, and they really are just an annoyance as well. They're going to force you to kind of react a little teeny bit, but they're not really going to force you to do too much here in the grand scheme of things. This Oracle is still looking around to try and see what else is going on. A couple Stalkers still gathering together also for a few more moments. So we resettle. Going to be having the units right over here. I mean, this is rough for Zoun because obviously your tech structure from early in the game got denied as well. So losing that is immediately going to be problematic. Having the force field coming down again. Being the aggressor here is amazing because you can poke at those gateways and you can essentially do damage over time by just chipping at those gates and slowly getting something done with them. So that seems to be the priority at the moment. Seeing this gateway is going to be going down. The few Stalkers and the Immortal continue to gather themselves together. It's going to go push on to the other gate as well, so again, continue to try and find some damage here over these next few moments. A couple of Adept are going to come back around. I mean, Zoun is going to try and play defense. At this point, the question will be how much pressure does Krystianer continue to apply, or when does he feel as though it's time to maybe step away into something a little different and in towards maybe an expansion or so? I think that's a very reasonable question. I mean, obviously right now he doesn't want to let up the pressure, which you can't blame him. He's continuing to get kills still. There will be a point where it's going to be very difficult for him to continue finding damage in this scenario, though, and that's when it's going to be the question mark of, you know, are we just going to back away and expand? Are we even going to get to that stage? Because Krystianer actually is just breaking up this ramp, and it may not even come down to that situation I'm talking about him just basically not being able to do much more. He's actually just going to go basically all the way, so... yeah, a nice status at the end of this game for Zoun, but that's all that's going to be, and Krystianer takes a 1-0 lead to kick off this best of 3 in the right way for him. What's up, Human Boostin'? Hello, hello. What's up, Sheefy? Hoping for Krystianer. Well, he's got that first map win. Every Kang, thank you for the 80-month resub as well. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing great. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you all hanging out with us and coming to join us for some games today in the WardiTV Summer Cup. Again, Group C today. Excited to continue bringing action from this event over the next today, tomorrow. Like I say, I'm not going to be here on Saturday, but then I'll be back on Sunday. Sunday is OSC, though. It's not this event, but yeah. It'll still be fun, it'll still be interesting. What's up if you're on the YouTube? Say hello, let me know what's going on. And don't forget to take a moment to drop, you know it, the like and the subscribe. We really appreciate it if you do. It goes a long way. And I appreciate you guys. Especially hit that like button when you join the stream. It just takes a moment as you settle in. Before you click away to do other things and to look and everything, take a moment, hit the like button. Like I say, it goes a long way for us and helps us to do even more StarCraft 2 content in the future. So, yeah, definitely worthwhile. Take a moment if you can. We appreciate it. Hello. Black Bear, is that you? Your names are very dark on my dark mode thingy. Hello, hello. How's it going? Long time no talk. Hope you're doing great as we jump into a game 2 for this series and have a look to see whether Krystianer will keep the momentum in his favor. Down in that bottom right hand side. Now blue Protoss as we get this started off. Alright, gate on either side as we settle down for a moment or two. Just take a couple seconds to get this on the way. Just going to have ourselves the couple of gates coming about, getting that started, bring that into place for a few moments. There's going to be 2 gateways each again. Again, not really too surprised by that. I think that's genuinely the expectation that we have here of how this is going to be going. And again, the gates of the cyber core is coming up for a couple of moments to bring this into place. have the probe continue to move around for a couple seconds. Nothing too crazy, just continue to see what's going on. And we see what's going on here as well. Just gonna see our a couple stalkers poking. Obviously, I imagine we're gonna take a little bit less of an aggressive approach this time. There you have the probe just coming away from that upper left-hand side, so Zoun just checking around to see if there's anything nearby. Krystianer has got a robo and an additional gate already coming into place. We have seen typically aggression in the PvP has been a little bit lackluster just because we've obviously been, if you just build defensive, gateways, you're typically ending up in pretty, good position to defensively hold off and to kind of slow people down. So that has been the general kind of way of things, so it'll be interesting to see if, like I say, that kind of continues here or not. We're having a few stalkers starting to strike once again, so we actually do have a little bit of a connection. Here's going to be Zoun getting some warpins off. He's only on the 2 gateways, but he does morph them into gateways to be able to put some work in already, so a little bit of interest there. He actually does have a lot of units as well, so Krystianer's going to find himself outnumbered a little bit, which is less than ideal, to say the least. Outnumbered is not where you want to be, as a few stalkers still gather themselves together and take a few more moments. I'm going to robo facility from Zoun, recognizing that Krystianer is maybe looking to be a little aggro here in the grand scheme of things again. He's going to be seeing the warpins now coming up from Krystianer as he readies the prism to go toward the main. He's keeping everything else back for the moment, but that doesn't mean he can't just bring it across at some later stage, right? So definitely keeping that in mind as a possibility at the moment of where this might get to. A couple of depths gather around still, just going to keep it moving for a few more moments. And again, putting some light pressure on, just doing our best to be a little bit of an annoyance here in the early stages. And Depths is going to continue to move around. The Immortal is halfway done already as well. So continue to settle that into place for a few more moments. Stalkers going to come on a little bit of a move. Depths continue to gather around. Takes a couple of seconds to see what the next step of this may be looking like. Like I said, Krystianer is there to be aggressive, and he obviously wants to be the aggressor because at this point he's down a base. So if you don't get aggressive here as Krystianer, it's probably not going to end up very well for you. So you kind of do have to get going. You have to be ready to start bringing this fire a little bit, bringing this aggression. And bringing that about is going to be something you better, like I say, aim for here over the next few moments. Big push in, actually using the elevator activity to bring us around with this one. I like it, honestly. Cool little move, and obviously trying to avoid some of the static defense of Zoun, but also just find Zoun in like a little bit less than ideal position, I think is a pretty fair statement as well, as you're going to be seeing Zoun. Yeah, got force field kind of out of his base for a while. He is now going to be able to fight here. The problem is you've lost 14 probes. However, if you hold on to this, you do have the Nexus still up and running in your favor, so that is still a benefit, on the follow-up. So there are some positives here to look at the moment, as we have Zoun trying to hold on. Like, if he can hold on, obviously is still very much so the question at the moment, so we're still kind of asking ourselves that, seeing if that is going to be the case. The answer is no. Krystianer going to get a 2-0 to start off the day. That's a little bit of a shocker to start things off, plain and simple. And that is going to be a GG's in the early stages. So that is going to be our first match of the day wrapped up. What's next? It is Mixu Krystianer. So we're going to hop on over to Europe for the next game here on this one, guys. Cool. All right, let's hop on over to Europe and get Mixu and Krystianer ready to go for some ZVP. Krystianer, great start, and a win against Mixu could already poise him into a very good position for this group. So that could actually be very interesting very quickly at the start of today. Black Bear, thank you so much for the 6-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciate it. Double check we're good on the YouTube. YouTube's looking good. Very quiet on YouTube, but alive is the important thing. Good. That's what you like to hear. Alrighty, we'll be, like I say, onto European server for Mixu Krystianer as soon as Krystianer hops over. We'll get this ready to go. Get this started off. No problem, of course, always support. Hell yeah, appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Really do appreciate it. As we get ready for the next couple moments, get this ready to go. Get this ready to start. Awesome, that video says, so it shouldn't take us too long to get this one back on track. Get that going in a few moments. Let me just close a couple of things on here that we don't need anymore, though I need this open so I remember to put the replays in later. Let's make a folder for that even. Perfect. So, again, the matches that you have coming up today, guys, is going to be Mixu versus Krystianer. We're actually going to do all of Mixu's games in a row now, so Mixu Krystianer, Mixu Zoun, Mixu Kua, and then we're going to wrap the day up with Kua Zoun and Kua Krystianer. So definitely gets a little bit spicy at the end, and Krystianer with a win over Zoun puts him in a great position to start this group off. It's a fun group. Like I said, I don't think it's like a guarantee of a group. I don't think anyone's like looking at this being like, oh yeah, this is definitely how this is going to go, or anything along those lines. So yeah, I like it. I like it. Bum, 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 bum. Lobby's up. Let's jump into it. I love you, Wardy. I love StarCraft 2. Hell yeah. We all love StarCraft 2. That's why we're still here. Alright, washout coming up to start this off. As we kick into the bottom left-hand side, this is going to be our blue Protoss to start things off. It is going to be Krystianer. taking on in the top right-hand side, it is going to be our red Zerg player, Mixu. Game 1, best of 3, and see how Mixu is doing on this patch. Obviously, he has been looking pretty good on this patch. Here and there, I mean, it's not like he's kind of taking down a bunch of crazy people he shouldn't be able to take down, but he's been playing well. And he's just been playing a little bit as well in general, I think, which is kind of fun to see. We don't always get to see Mixu, for example, right? So I do think that's a little bit of a fun factor for us as well. Getting to see someone that we obviously know of, because we don't, like I say, get to necessarily watch all of the time. Second series of the day, map number 1. And once we get Mixu and Krystianer up and running, Proby is just going to check to see what will happen over here. And just sees the hatchery coming down. Doesn't get the block just initially. Probe still just chilling to the side, nibbling up some minerals. Obviously just going to try and be annoying. Again, at least the hatchery got down in position here from Mixu. The Overlord is heading down to the bottom left as well. And hatch gas pool building up. The next is building by. Cybercore coming up also. And this probe will move around the front of the natural. Just going to go on a little bit of a patrol journey for a few moments. Yeah, I mean, PvZ is probably still the matchup where the least happens in the early stages of the game. So we'll be a little calm here before we really resume, but excited to see if anything super exciting comes from this in terms of builds. Like I say, maybe Mixu has something kind of fun to bring us. Maybe something a little bit intriguing we can see. Find out soon what his plan is going to be. Is just have the probe patrolling back and forth. And a couple lings popping out that are going to come and deal with that as well. So probe getting nibbled out. Ling speed being gathered here as we take a few moments. Stargate will be building. Adept in the warp gate still coming up. Our link speed is halfway done. Hey, what's up, Fantasy TYTY fanboy? Thank you for the 65-month resub. Hopefully, you didn't spoil the results by looking at the bracket. Impossible, because these games are live. So you are good, fear not. I don't know where you saw Mixu Krystianer results, but dude, they weren't from this one. Let's just have ourselves a couple of devs continue to gather about. Get settled in here for a few moments. Resetting and actually doing a good bit of economy damage here pretty early on. That's pretty decent to get in and find us a couple of drones. A lot of drones were lost mining time there, actually, is the main thing, perhaps. A lot of the drones there were not mining for a hot second, so a little bit of a factor. As you see the links continue around, a couple of drones still coming through. Twins is going to get there. The Oracle is going to take a couple shots then. Just comes back around. That warp gate very much so still on its way over. Robo Facility, Twilight Council both building. Gateway's coming up as we speak. A couple more probes in that warp gate continue to come through too. So again, bringing a lot of that online. The couple queens are going to get there. The Oracle gets turned away right off the bat. Again, we've done pretty well in the drone kills, getting 5 in total. Only the 2 depths going down. We've now got a Prism and the Temple Archives coming up. Surprise, surprise, Krystianer's doing the Krystianer thing, which is to Archon drop. So he's doing very much so what we expect Krystianer to be doing. So getting straight into that one. Nexus, Temple Archives coming into place for a couple of seconds. Just going to be seeing the couple of probes coming out as well. So again, we bring that into play. And we just have ourselves the lag coming up from Mixu. We start to see some decisions from him in this game as to maybe what he might try and do and so on and so forth. A little bit of intrigue on that in the next few moments, I'm sure. As the Prism arriving, let's see how the Archon defense is going to be looking, or the defense against those Archons is going to be looking, I should say. And there's a question for Mixu as to whether he can hold this off or not. Things trying to deal with the death. There's -5 workers, so pretty rough, to be honest. Pretty rough, as we do have, 10 drones dead. Mixu is taking a lot of damage. This is not the sort of damage which sees you through into like a comfortable position to follow up or something. This is the sort of damage puts you into, like I say, a very troublesome place, especially now as the Archons go queen hunting even. So the queen getting chased around a little bit as well. Really not ideal. Really not ideal. Oracle going to get around the back. 13 workers have gone down. Just going to still see the Oracle coming back in. Has a queen kill. This was massive. I mean, we've still only lost 4 adepts, and we've now killed 19 drones, 9 lings, and the 2 queens. It's a very, very one-sided game so far in terms of the damage being done. That is not a good sign if your name is... That's not a good sign if your name is Mixu, because now you're playing 100% from behind from the early stages here. So that is not going to be fun at all. And yeah, this becomes a little bit of a sad situation for you, quite frankly. What do you do now to try and bring it back a little? The Oracle's still lingering around as well, so you've got Krystianer, who's still going to be looking for some damage across the board here over the course of this. Oracle will come back around. Just going to be finding a few more shots. A little bit more being found still. Finding ourselves a couple of moments to get some more work done. The Roach is coming across. The Oracle going to be there. I mean, the Roach is obviously gathering up, at least have a little bit of pushing potential, but it is a very, very low-tech army versus what is a pretty teched-up Pros Force, because we've got the Archons from earlier, we've been building Immortals throughout. Yeah, you can already see that there's no way. If you played some games of StarCraft, if you watched some StarCraft, you know that army ain't doing anything right now, plain and simple. As fortunate as it is to be quick to the punch about these things, this is just a scenario where I don't really love where we are at all. As a player, there's just not a lot of hope in that kind of situation. Because the army is just so powerful in this situation is the main problem. And when the army is powerful like this, it's it's tough to deal with. I mean, you just have roaches, right? Like, your army is low-tech, your opponent's army is high-tech. Like I say, it kind of writes itself from there as we have the +2 attack and the blink continue to come out, so Krystianer's army continues to improve. I mean, I don't disagree that Mixu... I mean, what does Mixu do for the best, actually? I mean, he probably does just attack and just hope that the micro is not there, hope that his opponent makes a, game-breaking error. Because I think if you let this go on, you're not exactly anywhere close to fixing it up yourself. I don't think you're anywhere close to improving this situation. And if you're not close to improving this situation in the future, then... yeah, I just don't see you, sticking around into really being super beneficial. Let's continue to run over. Just going to be seeing the Ling's going to continue to run by as well. Queens gather up. The Fusel's going to move through. A couple Queens still going down. I mean, Krystianer just wins fights anywhere you look. Anywhere there is a fight happening, it feels like he's going to keep on winning it at this point in time. Roach Ravager is going to at least try and hit this bottom side base. Maybe Krystianer's a bit out of position for it. Maybe there's a little bit of opportunity here. Like I say, I'm not super hopeful right now, but let's pray that we're wrong because we like to see some competition. Roach Ravager gets force fielded, a couple corrosive bars landing on some of those force fields to handle it, so the force fields get dealt with pretty well. It's just it's not really an issue of force fields for Mixu. It's an issue of a whole lot more than that, realistically. GG gets called, and Mixu is going to have himself a 1-0 deficit to drag himself out of going into a second game here against Krystianer in a few moments' time. The early damage was already bad, and there was just nothing that happened for Mixu to start turning it around, unfortunately. This was just super controlled by Krystianer. Never let Mixu really have a chance. Really was just, like I say, controlling from the very beginning. As we go into a game 2 here in a second. Why do I get invalid map every time I first try and join the lobby? It's kind of strange. At Eternity's Edge is going to be our map, so we do know what we're going to be playing on at least. I'm bringing this up in a couple moments, and game number 2 will be on your screens in just a couple moments. Beautiful, beautiful. Man, the YouTube viewership's popping lately, I gotta say. Just people are showing up on the YouTube, and the numbers are growing very quickly every day. Like, we go live on YouTube, and I feel like we instantly get like 150 to 200 people. Like, it doesn't take any sort of build-up time anymore. I guess we're half an hour in, but even still, for the first hour, I feel like the numbers are great. Is it the wrong bracket command? Ah, I see. Yes, I have not updated the bracket command. That's part of me, isn't it? Give it a moment, guys. Try it now. It'll be fixed. Sorry, guys. I just... That explains why people thought they were getting spoiled by clicking on the bracket. My bad, guys. I just hadn't updated it. Slipped my attention. And probes gather up, a couple drones will continue on the way. Maybe it's easier to justify YouTube at work instead of Twitch. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people watch YouTube instead of Twitch. I'm just, like, YouTube doesn't usually kick off with this amount of viewership so quickly, and the last couple of days it has been. Especially yesterday for the Kung Fu Cup. Like, we started yesterday's Kung Fu Cup, and I think we're at like 250 viewers on Twitch, and we're at like 150 to 200 on YouTube, which is super crazy. Like, usually YouTube caps out 300-ish, 400 on a better day, 500 on a really good day. But like, usually it still takes time to get up to those numbers, you know? So I've just been surprised the last couple of days. YouTube viewers are out in force. It's not a bad thing to see. Alright. Because I got a good stream? Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words. As I'm just yapping on anyways. Early game, guys, unfortunately, is still going to be a bit slow for this PvZ. I was thinking, what could we actually do to make this early game PvZ more interesting? Because to me, the early game PvZ is absolutely one of the most... I mean, it's not a problem, right? Like, you know, some matchups are going to be slower in certain stages. But it is, to me, the least interesting matchup, right? Because early game, we're really just sat here, and again, you ask what's happening, and the answer is plain and simple, not really much of anything. You know, not a lot is happening. So I was wondering, what could you change to early game PvZ to make it look different? I don't really have a good answer for this either. This is not me having some crazy revelation or something, just to be clear. I was just sitting thinking, and I was like, I don't really... I mean, some matches just typically don't have anything, right? I guess it depends. I mean, to be fair, it's not like nothing happens. The Adept comes across the map, kind of like a Reaper comes across the map in TVZ. I think it's just the amount of time until something more happens. Like, there's so long of a phase where it's just those couple of Adepts and the Oracles poking for the damage and trying to find some work. Gonna have ourselves the Stargate about to finish up. Warp Gate on the way. All things is going to get to you. Dev's going to get caught. Obviously, going about a couple of probes in the warp gate coming through. Drones, the Rotor, and the hatchery coming around. We take a few moments. But this activates, and a few of those drones already going to be in some trouble. So some damage being taken, some damage being held. Just going to see our Oracle activating through for 5th worker kill. And the Queen going to get there to push that Oracle away to the sides. Even longer now with 8 workers. Yeah, this is not even an 8 worker criticism. This is literally just PvZ was always kind of a slow matchup to start up, right? So, you know, when we obviously have slower build-ups, PvZ will probably feel like it's been hit the worst. I really hate casting PvZ back in HOTS days as well. Back in HOTS, it was also very formulaic in terms of exactly what you did. It was probably even less interesting than now, because at least now you do have the Adepts and the Oracle pokes to try and find a little bit extra. It's just, yeah. Obviously, this game gets interesting with Mixu on 28 workers and sending it with these units. Ravagers and Lings coming across the map, but we've already got 2 extra batteries on the way from Krystianer. The Voider is very good in this scenario. Constant damage output. Just going to see those Lings trying to poke. Just going to be having ourselves the Corrosive Bile hitting the pile. I mean, this just doesn't feel like it's enough. Already Mixu is droning, which is not exactly a great sign to be droning in this scenario. Doesn't feel great at all. Voidray poking away at a few more Lings around over on the right side. Just going to see a couple more Adepts warping in on the natural. Immortal is going to be popping very soon. Oracle shows up, gets after a couple of drones. He gets close, doesn't quite kill him. Voidray coming back in again. Drones, the Queen continue to come up. Just going to be seeing that Prism, and the extra workers still coming over as well. Glaives is coming up, the High Template coming through. Got ourselves the Archon morphing from Krystianer. I mean, this position already feels good for Krystianer, who now has a massive army over his opponent, because Mixu is droned up very heavily, very quickly, but he really hemorrhaged his economy early game, and that can't be ignored. As Krystianer hits what is a delayed glaive setup, it's going to make for a very powerful push, where it's going to be Glaved Adept Immortal Archon coming over. Even worse back then, it felt like Forge Fast Expanded. I have a 2-gate Robo, a 7-gate. It used to be, my pet peeve era was either the Forge Fast Expand into 3 base plus 2, like, Blink Stalker attack at like 11 or 12 minutes. Or the only alteration that happened was like, sometimes they'd build 4 gates early and spam Zealots, you know, and just send like 8 Zealots in. Because both of them had like, at least the Stalkers eventually when they hit was strong, but like, it just felt like you were always waiting 8 minutes to see whether the timing worked. And sometimes it's like, 8 Zealots killed the Zerg, you know, after you've watched for 5.5 minutes or 6 minutes already, right? Yeah, it was a, I hated hard this one, PvZ. Just the early game was slow. But yeah, like I say, early game PvZ is always gonna... I think it's just like, again, you know it's gonna be a Stargate, because pretty much anything that isn't a Stargate is just truly unviable. And it's like, there's only so much variation that gets exciting off a Stargate as well. It's like, even if they make a Voidray, like, it's cool we can mention it because it's a bit different, but the reality is a Voidray is even less interesting, because now it goes Overlord hunting, but you're not even going to have as much Oracle poking, right? Yeah. Anyways, we actually have an exciting part of the game, so let's not talk about the boring part of it. I mean, I say exciting part. I do actually think that this is just terrible for Mixu. Like I say, he got so many workers to be aggressive early and never committed to it. And okay, he droned up heavily since then, but I think Krystianer is absolutely right in trying to just push forward now. The counter-attack of Mixu is doing some work, though. Workers going down. If Mixu can find a cleanup on this side of the map, the problem is it's been very difficult to get toward those Immortals. Now, that said, the Force Fields are no longer available. Voidray shows up to help us out. The Roaches are going to get to the Immortals, and then the Adepts and Sentries after that will kind of fall a lot sooner, or a lot more quickly than they would have been falling previously. So maybe we're cooking a little bit, man. Even when he got on top of these Immortals, this was an absolute disaster of actually cleaning them up. Finally, we get rid of another one, but it has not been a pretty setup in the slightest. I mean, the Roaches, they finally clean up. Is it going to be enough? I still question as the Roaches turn away. Again, Queen's on the way through, the Spore Crawler coming in. 11 Roaches are still producing at the moment. We have the Oracle and the Void Ray going to push onto this hatchery. Taking a fair bit of damage. I mean, just having the Void Ray left over after is just annoying. And now, are we actually going to get the base? No transfusion available. Hatchery goes down just before the Void Ray does, unfortunately for Mixu. Minus your third base. I mean, he's pushing across the map to win the game. He needs to win it right now. He obviously knows that. He can see that. And he will try for that at this exact moment, as you just have the Zarts and the Immortals still putting the work in, still chipping their way through these Roaches. Getting the work done. More Zarts are going to gather up together. We are going to be seeing the Roaches getting back on toward the Stalker, on toward the Immortal. Again, the Immortal's still just going to be fighting. Those Roaches are still taking additional shots. Yeah, I mean, Krystianer's having a tough hold. I just don't believe in Mixu's ability to keep reinforcing this enough to eventually make it one-sided, you know? Last couple of Immortals still swinging. 14 probes have gone down. Krystianer's down at 36 workers. I mean, Mixu, if he didn't lose the third base, his economy would actually be kind of booming right now, low-key. Well, he's killed enough probes. He's still got to deal with the Immortal drops, though. That's going to be the problem for the next few moments. Prison getting pushed back. Queens and the Roaches gather up. Charge the Immortal. A Roach Ravager continue to come together here. Drones went down. We're actually going to lose that Oracle that just floats in, unfortunately. Roach just going to join back up. I mean, Mix is getting ready to go again. You know, credit to him. I didn't believe. I think is my issue with this, is the problem overall. This might sound boring to say, but is the problem is that we went kind of glaives? Because I feel like the glaive to depth just didn't really succeed that much. Especially because Mixu was already playing into like a roach-based army, so just didn't really feel like glaives was ever kind of going to be super beneficial. I imagine you went charged and you just had Zealots join us, and then also you don't spend gas on the depths, and you can spend gas on more Archons or so. That instantly feels as though it might have been a significantly better situation. Roach is moving up here. We still have 5 Immortals to get through. That's actually very difficult still, so this game is not done yet. Immortals good, guys. Immortals are very good, and Mixu says Immortals too good even. GG's, and Krystianer will take it 2-0. Wow, what a scrappy, stupid game. As yeah, 5 Immortals good at the end. See, that's a little bit more like what I thought was going to happen in the first case, in the first instance, but we just didn't quite have as much up because we eventually lost those Immortals. Man, that was crazy. Weird finish. Yeah, he obviously felt like he had to go again, when in reality he probably had to be a bit more cautious and slow going. The beauty of StarCraft, guys. You don't always know what's going on. It's not always easy to make good decisions, you know? That is the beauty of the game that we enjoy. Cool, cool, cool. So, we will ready ourselves up for Mixu versus Zoun, is it next? Mixu, Zoun, then Mixu Cure. Yep, so a couple more Mixu games coming up, guys. Get that ready to start in a few moments. Hot said the best TVZ. I think Hot's TVZ gets very overlooked because of the Swarm Host mech era, though. It had the best bio. I mean, best is relative maybe, but like it had very good bio. Yeah, it had a very good bio, but that was kind of about it, right? Like when you play mech, or when you talk about the mech, then the rest of it becomes kind of ugly. The rest becomes kind of ugly. Freaking Swarm Host mech, we're in so much. We are waiting for Mixu and Zoun. Cool. We will get Mixu and Zoun ready to go, guys. So Mixu and Zoun both 0-1, losing to Krystianer. Both looking to kind of keep that group alive with a win here. A win for either would be solid. Phalanx, how you doing? Thank you so much for the 52-month resub. Hope all is well. Thanks for the games. Yeah, doing good. Enjoying the StarCraft lately. Having some fun games as the patch is settling a little bit once again. Be interesting to see how it really sells. Oh, you're about a week out from when they added the 300 minerals command centers? Well, almost a week in. So we're getting a little bit of a settling chance. I mean, it's going to take a little while overall. But, yeah, nice to start settling a little bit here and there. You thought he would have been much more dominant after the 300 mineral command center. It's interesting, isn't it? I think the thing about the 300 mineral command center, though, is that it makes builds a bit smoother. But the reality is like when you consider... Like when you basically consider how StarCraft works, like there's always that little bit of a percentage on either side anyways, right? So if Terran was truly like this one here, and you bump the percentage like to here, it's still going to feel kind of okay, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that this was the best way to bump that percentage up, because I think what we are seeing a lot of is like command centers do feel silly late game, but it's also one of those things where it's like it feels silly, but it's not probably going to truly break the game. It's not like Zerg Lava, where Zerg Lava inherently means you can get so many more units consistently at every stage of the game, where 300 mineral command center is like, realistically, like 100 minerals is like 2 Marines, you know? So there's a point in the game where 2 Marines is like, whatever, right? So it's really like, it impacts like the first 3 to 5 minutes of build order, and that gives you a few percentage points. But I think that's pretty much... So like, but like I say, like I still think it's a bit silly of a change, because I think they could have achieved it in another way than making the CCs cheaper. It buffs Terran where they didn't need to be buffed. Yeah, I mean, maybe overall, but I mean, it does bring their builds forward in comparison to Pros and Zerg, which were buffed because of, like, again, we're going in the Circle of 8 worker start, right? But I think most didn't try to abuse it. They just play the same builds. I don't think that's true. I think the problem is you play the same builds. You're always going to play the same builds. Like, we saw a bunch of people trying out CC first and stuff. And that's pretty much as creative as you can be, because otherwise all of the builds are going to look the same. They're just 100 minerals sooner, no? On the bottom left-hand side, we are going to have ourselves the blue Protoss player. This is Zoun. And in the top right, our red Zerg is going to be Mixu. Buffs Terran in the stages where they're already strong. But Terran weren't strong in the first few minutes anymore, because their builds were terrible after the worker changes. Like, Terran economy genuinely was in the bin. It was absolutely the worst hit out of every race, so... So I don't think that's where Terran was already too strong. But I think that's specifically where Terra needed a little pick-me-up. And the problem with changing the command center cost is it's a pick-me-up that then affects the entire game, right? So it's just unnecessary, I think, at the end of the day. They could have... I'm sure they could have come up with a smoother solution for it that would have been less controversial. Lava change only helps players who are not constantly on top of queen injects. I mean, maybe the current version of lava, I don't know enough to really argue this, but like, it was very clear that the original lava buffs were extremely good at all levels. You know, like the first version of the lava buffs, you could see people actually rising in MMR across the board. Like, it was a genuine, like, visible buff to the race. That was clearly too strong. Nowadays, probably not as impactful. Run above Terra and give Terra more gas per base? Yeah. But, I mean, that really is buffing Terran where they're already strong. It is funny, like, some of the changes, kind of in a very roundabout way, have actually had significant impact. It's just... This is why the constant patching is very difficult to judge. Because something like the gas change, you saw a little bit of the factor of that kind of in, like, Cyril versus Clem in that big game they played at Home Story Cup. But those games don't happen every day. Those games, you know, do not happen very often at all, in fact, right? So it takes a lot of time to test these things out, and maybe Terran late game is significantly worse now because they run out of gas a lot sooner, right? Because we've nerfed the gas numbers, right? But we don't really know if that's a thing because we change something every 2 weeks, and so we don't know if that's actually going to settle into something that's a problem. Or if that's going to, you know, like, down the line, like, 3 months from now, we'd be like, man, Terran really suck late game. Like, they never have enough gas. The other races make way better use of minerals, and there's more minerals on maps than there is gas. But that's the sort of thing that doesn't kick in for a long time to really see. I'm saying we need a bigger sample size. I'm saying we need... StarCraft 2 is a complicated game. And you can't possibly gather enough... Unless something is shockingly abused... Like, I think the first version of Zerglov is the sort of thing where you absolutely can be like, wow, that needs a hotfix. I think everything else has not really needed a hotfix. Because I think it takes a long time for the intricacies of the game to be figured out. And the reality is that 99.9% of players do not notice changes like this as well. Like, pretty much everyone in this chat right now, if we went and played the game with 300 Mineral Command Center or 400 Mineral Command Center, it doesn't matter. Because when we get supply blocked at minute 3... for 5 seconds, that's pretty much the difference already, you know? Or when we didn't build 2 SCVs extra because we slacked a second here and a second there over, you know, this is the difference already, right? Hell, we're already 50 to minerals behind pro players because we don't micro our workers at the start of the game. You know what I mean? Like, we're playing a different game. And these changes are like, changes like this are just so minimal to, I mean, I'm high diamond right now, maybe low masters. Changes like this are so minimal to this level of play because realistically, I should have just built a depot at a better time or something like this, you know? So, like, obviously, if you buff something, like, someone who still keeps playing at the same level will get a bit better. But the reality is it's not broken at that level because, you know, if I see my opponent now can build their CC sooner, I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. If I just improve my macro slightly, I'm not going to notice any difference, you know? Like, that's the thing with StarCraft 2. Like, and that's why balancing around the high level versus balancing... Like, it's not even... I think it's... When people talk about balancing around the low level, I just think it's not even the low level we need to balance around. We just need to make the game fun around the lower levels. But you can still focus the balance on the higher levels, right? Surely they're balancing the game for the GM League. Yeah, I'm mostly just talking about a lot of people who are always, you know, asking for... you know, low-level balance and stuff, and people who are out there right now being like, this is it, I can't play, I'm not playing anymore because I can't possibly play against these Terrans with their giga-cheap command centers and stuff. But then, like I say, on top of that, it's like, the other point I'm making is that we just don't know what the actual overall result of that is until we actually see it, actually get a chance to settle. And there's a lot of things that have changed that we just have not had anywhere near enough time to settle so far. You know? It's like even the 8 worker stuff, right? Like, turns out when you change the economy like that, you need to actually, you know, change a bunch of other stuff with it. But like, we never really had enough time for each single thing to settle down to actually know how much actually needed changing and what did and didn't, and so on and so forth, you know? So, yeah. You're not going to see these adepts putting some damage in. Again, Mixu is going to be an underdog in this one, as see the Lings running forward and looking for an opportunity for a couple moments. Trying to get rid of these adepts that have been very annoying up until now. Not really killed so far. 8 drones, 29 Lings. It cost us 7 adepts in the game, though, so it's not like this has been completely free damage. I'm not following somebody. I'm observing myself again. Ay. Legitimately ruining the stream quality by taking control. People think high diamond players have extremely tight build orders. Yeah, I know, like, extremely tight means you have a general understanding. Like, I played a bunch of games of Home Story, and obviously it wasn't necessarily like, you know, super tight builds for me, but like I had by the end I had a rough idea of what I wanted to do. The reality is that, like, even in mid-masters, your build changes every game because you mess something up somewhere, you know? If you can actually pull off the exact build the exact same way every game, you naturally will rise to the rank of higher masters, you know? Like, if you just spend your money and execute your build that well, that consistently, you will immediately just skyrocket, you know? Yeah. This is why all this discourse is kind of silly in the grand scheme of things as well, because it's just so whatever. That's a wild recall on those probes. That's actually going to be a success story against this Ling Bane counterattack. Oh my god. Well, we still lose 11 probes here, but I thought that was going to be way worse. I actually thought the recall was bad because I was really genuinely of the belief that actually the recall was going to lock those probes in place and that was going to be an issue. The Lings killed the 3rd base, so Mixu gets rid of the expansion here. Wow. Has a stasis ward trapping a bunch of his workers right now as well, but generally speaking, that was a pretty well done attack from Mixu. Gets some serious damage done, and now Zoun is in some trouble. He did not achieve much on the other side of the map during that, so absolutely in a little place of trouble right here. We having the voids are going to come around, so we have got this high voider account, which is one of the factors of kind of what's going on over the course of this as we move through. Just going to see the Ling Hydra in a little bit of trouble. Zoun's got that mothership out. It's a very typical Zoun thing to have this early mothership. He loves it. He is a big fan of that mothership coming down and getting it out nice and early in the game. Gonna have those voids gather through for a couple of seconds. See, those Lings will continue to gather about for a few moments. I mean, I don't think we can do much else here. This is now a Sky Toss Yami, so you're going to have to tech up at least a little bit in this scenario, no? I don't think we can just kind of continue in the same way that we've been going and expect to see success right now, so I think we do need to slow this down and chill this out at least for a couple of moments. The Lings nibbling their way through this set of rocks over here, so putting some more work out just for now. Just the Lings knocking those rocks down, opening up this central space. Hallucination going to come flying through. Again, the Queens are going to be nearby, pushing around a little bit. And again, a couple more Infestors coming about. The +2 missile upgrade. Also on the way through. The air weapons coming up. You know, 5 extra gates in the Temple Archives coming into place. The Nexus is coming online as well. So yeah, big airplay here from Zoun. Mixu's already got not just Corruptors, but also building Infestors. Actually bringing Spellcasters in early, alongside the Hydras that have already been built. How is this going to go? I mean, I guess one of the question marks of this is What are we talking about in terms of splash damage? Nothing really. Like, this is a scenario where Hydras should do well, especially right now, because at the moment, the Hydras are genuinely in a position where they outmass the Sky Toss, so they shouldn't get cleaned up super quickly. So without splash damage here, these Hydras have a really good opportunity, and Mixu definitely has a chance to make something happen. We'll be seeing his attempt of that in these next few moments. The Sky Toss army of Zoun moves back around the bottom right. Hydra's going to threaten the left-hand side. Loses the +2 air weapons. It's actually kind of a big deal, losing the Cyber Core with the upgrade on it. He's going to do a lot of work here. High Templars are not going to be able to storm you, and I think Mixu is realizing it, so now he's going to commit in a little bit. Realizing that he doesn't actually have to respect the storm just now. Forces the Mothership Cloaking to come down. Yeah, soon we are going to have to respect the storm, though, so I don't think there's going to be much more of a time. It was still nice to deny +2 air weapons. It's a big upgrade for the air units. That is now not going to be able to stay in place at all. And storm is about to be done. +2 attack is still coming up. The Ling Hydra, of course, regathers for a few moments. Just going to be having the Hydras, going to be having a bunch of Banes morphing in with them. There's a lot of units here for Mixu at the moment. There's a lot of units in the middle of the map. Tempest still gather. Hydra Bane rejoining. The Infestors come across once more. More Bane's going to try and crash through. The Infestor, Ling Bane, Hydra coming back around. Just going to see a couple shots coming out. Microbial Shroud drops. But the problem with Microbial Shroud is if you sit in Microbial Shroud, you sit in Storm essentially. And so you can't really just stick around in one single place. So trying to find a way forward. This is the point where he needs to, as he loses Hydras, replenish them with the Corruptors, which he is doing. Because the Corruptors become a lot more viable in this later stage now than the Hydras do, because with Storm out, it's going to be extremely difficult to really find opportunities here that are not just going to be a complete wash. So let's go around the left side again. A lot of units just going to gather in the center. I just poke. Your cannons take some damage. Trying to get some Caustic Spray off, but the problem with Caustic Spraying is then your Corruptors are not fighting back, so the Corruptors get no shots off there. Some Zealots are going to start working through the hatchery in the upper left as well. Mixu trying to get to a 6th base in this game, but Zoun at least going to try and challenge that a little bit as the Archon Void Ray Tempest Force continues to push forward at the moment and is seeing some success. A lot of those continuing to fall. Do you see the base going down? And the Zealots gather up. The Corrupt's going to try and make a dive in toward the main base. What are we going to do over here? Aim at a Nexus or so. Aim at the Fleet Beacon apparently is going to be the call. So Fleet Beacon gets jumped on. The Hydras try and show up. Again, a couple of Void Rays get caught already. Corruptors come back around again. A couple of those Hydras still getting cleaned out at the moment. That's still staying busy as we have now the Tempest Voids and the Archons continue to come over. And you'll see actually for the force a recall, which is not a bad thing then from Mixu, forcing your opponent to put that on cooldown and recognizing that they need to pull back a little bit. Like I said, definitely not a bad thing to be committing for right there. Diving through Mixu, trying to make something of this, but this army disappears. And you know what we don't have? It's an unfortunate thing that we don't have. It's a rebuild. We don't have the supply or the money to rebuild at all, so that is unfortunately just going to be it for Mixu as he crashes in and crashes out of this game. Zoun is going to take the opening map of this BO3. A little bit of an effort for Zoun in the end. It was not easy plain sailing, but we got there. Alright, GG's. Let's get into our next one in a couple of moments, guys, as map number 2 hosts up onto Old Sun Temple. Get that started. Run some ads. Kick this off. Alright, Zoun Mixu. game number 2. So frustrating when Twitch has problems, audio and video keep freezing. Twitch. Let's dive into game 2 then. I feel like Mixu, like I say, made something of that game. Just couldn't quite close out with the sky toss that came behind it all. And Zoun holds out and gets to cross spawns on Old Sun Temple for this next game now. Here's the blue Protoss in the upper right hand side. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a couple moments to set this up, see where things are. I'm gonna go bring this around. Game number 2. Our third match of the day, Zoun looking to get himself to 1-1 in this group with Kua left to play again. It's rough for Zoun having lost to Krystianer. He would have to beat Kua or hope that Krystianer has some upsets elsewhere, but Krystianer's already 2-0, so it's going to be tough for that to happen, honestly, I think, just through and through at this point. Difficult little situation right now. Let's just have our lings on the way up, that hatchery coming by. Take a couple seconds here to bring this one into place as the drones are going to pull and our Lin. It's ready to go, so we're going to go for the early pool with the, I mean, I don't know, I guess we didn't see the hatchery, but was not really expecting the Ling Flood aspect or the drone pool aspect of this, I guess. Second gate comes down. Obviously, the scout is big from Zoun. Zoun's scout, and Mixu doesn't know. Mixu's praying that he's close spawn. Yeah, that's not good because that's time wasted for Mixu. That could have been already across the map as well. So I mean, 4-player map encourages the rolling of the dice, guys, the flipping of the coin, and this coin has been flipped. And Mixu called heads. It landed tails. Now he takes a while, but he's allowed to reflip it, and this time he knows where the button is. But now he got a good surround on that Zealot for a couple seconds. The probes pull back to the high ground. Things show up. Pylon going to go down after this next Zealot finish, but you actually have a pretty good surround on the Zealot. The probes will fight here. Is that enough? One Zealot. A couple more Lings showing up. Is that actually just good enough for Mixu? Right now it's looking good for him, no? Because Zoun lost everything and he can't build anything else. Last Zealot goes down. Wow, it's good. Mixu gets it. That, my friends, is not the micro. I mean, not having a full wall off from Zoun is just... I mean, I presume Zoun was just like, oh, are you not coming because I know about it? Or what? But yeah, that shouldn't have worked exactly. That shouldn't have worked. It's a great summary of what just happened there. Great summary. Players ready up. We get to go to game 3. Mixu takes one. Well, there you go. Mixu takes a map. Wouldn't that be solved with a full wall? Yeah, you full wall and it's over. But I presume he just didn't quite... Yeah. I don't know. I guess he just didn't think it was coming anymore. He didn't believe it was coming. He just misread exactly what it was. That's like a... Man, that's a frustrating one for Zoun, because now if he does pull himself back into an okay place in his group, say he wins this and beats Kua, he could still end up in a very bad 3-way tiebreaker for himself, because he's now going to have the bad tiebreaker situation for himself. Because he's going to have lost a map to Mixu, where it's likely that... Well, we know Krystianer didn't, and it's very possible that Kua doesn't as well, right? So, yeah, that's a little awkward to say the least, guys. A little awkward to say the least. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Well, we can get to a game 3. Was not expecting it, as you might be able to tell. Mixu and Zoun for a final battle on Eternity's Edge. Look, guys, we take it because we wanted some extra games to come through, right? We wanted some more action. As the kind of group, especially with how it started, was starting to move forward very quickly. So, yeah, actually, getting some games that we maybe weren't expecting. That's pretty nice. Pretty darn nice. Probably still just scouting through then, trying to see what's up for a few moments, see what's going on. No, I'm not live on Kick, guys. I don't really agree with what Kick does. I don't feel like... I mean, maybe providing choices, maybe we should be, but I already feel like Twitch and YouTube is pretty good coverage for people. I don't think anyone has requested me to stream on Kick. It's like a lot of people was like, oh, can't you stream on YouTube and stuff, and in days gone by. I don't think anyone a single time has ever been like, hey, Wardy, where's the Kick stream? And I'm just like, well, I'll look into that. It just feels unnecessary. I don't even know how you make money on Kick. I'm pretty sure if you want to make money on Kick, you just join their program and they just pay you for the sake of needing people to be on the platform so it doesn't look dead. I don't even know. The more platforms I stream on, the more views I will get. I mean, if there's nobody that watches StarCraft on Kick, then it's not going to make a difference though, right? And then it's another chat to monitor. I mean, you could argue it actually is bad for you, right? In a way. Like, say 10 people watch me on Kick, but I then try and communicate with the people that talk on Kick, right? So say I'm talking to them and interacting, and people are like, man, this sucked. He's not interacting with us, and people might leave the other streams. Or say the Kick viewers are really toxic, and I'm constantly fighting them. I bring down. Look, I'm making stuff up at this point, but Mixu gets in. Pylon's dead, and is gonna come back around here a couple of seconds. Where we going? Oracle's gonna chase after those couple lings. Did I stream on YouTube? Yes, everything's live streamed on YouTube. And the best part of the live stream on YouTube is that everything is instantly saved to the YouTube as well. And YouTube has a very good VOD system, right? Obviously, it's YouTube. So it's actually really nice because then you have the YouTube VOD system is... YouTube's VOD system is just then you have everything immediately on there, so it's really nice. You can catch up with on everything that we do on the YouTube. Apart from a couple times when we get Twitch front page, which I actually haven't had in a while because not being allowed to multi-stream with Twitch front page really ticked me off the wrong way last time, so I've not applied since. Probably should do though. It's still good, even if it was annoying. Anyways, we got ourselves a game, guys, so I'm getting very sidetracked here. And so we go make our way into this. The Lings are going to break through again, by the way. Oh my goodness. So Mixu gets in another time for some more damage. Roach and Lings behind this too, so not ideal when you're trying to ready yourself for like a later game like Assault and kind of, ready yourself for this kind of next attack that's coming along. And now we are already in some trouble. Like, it's not great. Not great just yet. Let's see if Zoun can make a defense of it anyway. See if he can make a defense of it anyway. You've seen the Void Ray going to be here. Actually finds the Queens in the middle of the map, Void and the Oracle. The damage is split as well, which is not pretty. Split damage is almost never a good thing, as we are going to see the Queens taken down. However, it means that the Void and the Oracle aren't defending the front, so the Roachling will see some success here. Third base from Zoun is obviously one that has potential to be interesting. Just going to see the Ling still pushing through, a bunch of probes, taking some damage. How many workers are we going to end up killing here? 8 workers so far. Honestly, it's looking as though this might be good at the moment. Just don't get me wrong, we're not going to kill everything on the side of Mixu, but like he's going to do enough damage that this game continues, right? Like this game will go on. It will definitely go on. So yeah, that's a big plus. Oracle gets a few more shots off. 20 worker lead right now from Mixu, getting up to the lair, so getting to that next phase of this, bringing that into place. Oh, that's kind of exciting. Charging a few probes are going to come out right now as well. And this is going to try and get back onto this Nexus, so we take a few moments and put a bit more damage out for a little bit. It's just going to be seeing the Void still going to be there. The Lings get chased around for a few moments. Weird scenario, because obviously now you're kind of playing from a weird position as the Zerg player. The Protoss player is also being put behind heavily, so their economy is out of place. The Zerg player's tech is out of place. You can see Zoun actually setting up to be aggressive, so if you catch Mixu being too macro-focused right now, then that is the ideal situation here. That is the ideal situation here, plain and simple. Let's see. Zealots charge in. Void Rays show up. Mixu does not have a lot of units. Hydra's are going to be a major help. We've got a couple out. We could do with a couple more. Plain and simple as the Void Rays going to stay active for a second or two. A bit more damage being dealt already. It's going to be seeing the stasis water goes off only on a drone, so that's good. That could have obviously been very problematic if we were not careful. Zealots and the Voids are still putting the work in. We are going to have ourselves the hatchery still kind of low at the moment, still in a little bit of a troubling place. We're going to lose the base as Mixu. He's just not getting enough stuff up to really stop this and to deal with this, plain and simple right now. So we're actually going to see Mixu just dying to the massive units. Crazy. Utterly crazy. GG's as Mixu. Zoun just gets it done. And Mixu will fall 2-1. Wow. If he just realized how aggressive Zoun was being, this game was set up for Mixu. If he just built Hydras a bit earlier, it would have been great. Crazy. Crazy. Just see like a fly trying to fly in my room and hitting the window. Usually flies like hit the window trying to fly outside, right? Like, why is one trying to fly in? It's impressive. All right, Mixu Q will round out our games, guys. So we'll round out our games for Mixu, I should say. Get that on the way in a second. So Mixu A, Q B, West. So Mixu Q, and then we have Q versus Zoun and Q versus Krystianer to round this group out. And that's going to be where we continue. This series is so funny, how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's been a series. It was definitely a series. That was that was for sure. If he honestly just built workers a little bit less, this was a very winnable match for sure. Crazy. Crazy. Do 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 do. All right. And get Mixu and Q viewed up, guys. Get this ready to go. Get this ready to go. First video's already coming down. So it should not take us long to kick this off. It really was a match. Sometimes you have games of StarCraft 2 and they just look wild, and this really was one of those times where things just looked wild. Ay, ay, ay. Everything else is working fine. Twitch is just sucking for you. That really does suck. It's kind of strange. One, two, three, four, five, six videos. Map picks coming in a second. First map is going to be drum roll, please. Brrr. Brrr, drum roll. And you're just like, now they're going to pick a map. We're going to custom games. Any second, I'm hearing any second it's going to be good to go. We're not being given any info. Okay. Okay. There you go. Watch out the map pick. He didn't even tell us the map, he just hosted it. Beautiful. Alright, ready to go in a second, guys. Waiting for players to ready up. Here's ready. Looks like Mixu just needs a moment. Now Mixu managed to start the game with the wrong player in the player slot. Instantly left. He would have been fine just to I think he had time, I guess, panic quit. Alright, we are good to go. Let's get this going. Let's get this started. Mixu vs. Q are coming up, guys. Where did I get the stuffy SC2 animals at? Pretty much most of the plushies are from Makeshift, but they do them in phases. Like if you have to order them like when they get announced, and then once they're made, they're made. You know, like that's all that get made and stuff. So yeah, I get them from Makeshift. That's for most of them. Some of them might have come from somewhere else. I'm not sure. I don't crazy news. I don't track where every plush is from anymore. We had a while of a bunch of StarCraft plushies and stuff going around, but we've not actually had any new ones for a little bit, so... 143 Chance, thank you so much for the 21-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. Thank you for supporting. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Alrighty, let's get back at it then, as we have ourselves a best of 3 ZVT coming your way. Between Mixu, our blue Zerg, and Cure, our red Terran player. So we kick this off and start this up. Kick this off and start it up. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. See if Mixu can bring us some upsets in the ZVT. After this, obviously, Cure. This is his first match of the day. After this, Cure still plays Krystianer and also versus Zoun. So we have those to determine exactly who advances out of this group into the playoffs. Playoffs played next weekend, by the way. Just a little reminder for you guys on that one. Couple barracks continue through, so you take a few moments, settle that down. Queen's going about. Everything else coming through for a couple seconds as well. So again, seeing what else we've got going on here. Links be coming up. Racks, Marines, and SCVs continue to produce through, so again, getting that on the way, bringing that into position, and that started. Just for the moment. We're just chilling out over here. He's gone for a party at the beach, man. Beach day for Mr. Overlord. Isn't that nice? Maybe we should give more of our units chances to have little days off, you know? So Overlord's taking a chill. A couple of evolution chambers are coming about, since we have the hatchery coming up as well, to bring this into play at the moment. Getting that ready to go. And yeah, we'll see what the next stage of this one will bring us. Having ourselves quite a lot of Marines. It's a very biocentric opener. Obviously, no factory here from Cure. This is something we're seeing more and more in this current meta, actually. We're seeing more and more of these very bio-heavy openings, ignoring a lot of the... ignoring a lot of the other stuff for a little bit, ignoring the factory and so on. Clem's been doing a lot. Like I say, I mean, Kira's always been kind of into these kind of builds as well. I feel like he's been one of the players who's been very willing to kind of go into what is kind of a stranger style in this matchup a lot of the time anyway, and it's definitely, like I say, sets that a little bit as well, sets that vibe a little bit as well, right? So... Ling's going to try and work on these rocks and just open that up, but we've obviously got bigger issues with these Marines moving on the map. If that's not seen, then that could be a problem here. We don't know what's going on. Lack of information has been the death of many a player over the history of StarCraft, and Mixu may be the next experience of that. If he doesn't know where those units are at, like I say, it could get a little bit scary a little bit quickly. Marines are going to fight there. A few of the Lings get held back already, just pulling away for a few moments. So you step away on that one and continue through. You're going to have these Lings at least keeping these Marines from getting across the map. That's what you want to do. Force stims early, force stims before you're forced to fight. If you're forced to fight and then the opponent stims, they're going to get full value out of that stim. But if you can get them to stim early, kind of take away the value of that a little bit, then that generally is speaking going to be a very big positive for you. And so the Lings opening up these rocks has definitely been something Mixu's tried to do a couple of times now. We'll see if he's a bit more successful this time around instead. Let's come over. Obviously, want to just make sure we can get ourselves into third base here, so just trying to get that on the go. Having the Marines again. Being forced to stim again. I mean, these medevacs are going to have no energy by the time they actually heal everything up just from, like, arriving here in the first place. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Ling's going to continue to move about, see what else they can get to. The medevac's going to load, like I say, they're already out of energy, so going to be fairly limited what they can do on the other side of the map, I guess. You see the Marines loading from a medevac for a moment or so. Just going to be having the Marines going through once again. Nice run by from Mixu, keeping it active. How well does he defend on the other side of the map is going to be one of the stronger questions here. If he can deal with this on the other side while doing this amount of damage, he's going to put himself in a pretty good place, to be fair. Kind of like what we're able to do so far. I like where we're putting ourselves at the moment. I like where we're putting ourselves at the moment. Let's see if it continues as we just have... Again, a lot of SCVs already killed here, so looking for more. What about Ling Bane? Still gathering together. Oh, we are gonna, I mean, these SCVs in some trouble. Cure? Where are his units at, man? He's gotta have some somewhere. Yeah, you've seen the, I mean, I guess this attack does not do that well. I guess not too many units go down in this situation, so maybe this is where the units are at. Lings come back around, a few SCVs go down, a bit more damage dealt right off the bat on this one. And at this point, Q is starting to do okay on the other side as well. Maybe not getting tons of damage, but at least putting enough pressure on that Mixu actually has to respect it and to potentially, you know, sit there and be ready to deal with it as well. So being ready in those scenarios, very, very useful too. And like I say, putting you in a position where you have to be very aware as the Zerg, which obviously gives the Terran a little bit more breathing room back at home as well. The Lings run by again. Mixu's just not going to stop with the run bys, which I love. I think if you cause chaos on the other side of the map, chaos is the kind of game you may be able to win against Kua. Kua is a very good player, let's not get that wrong, but one of Kua's weaknesses is he's not, you know, you'll hear other people talk about this, he's not as fast as some of the other guys, alright? He's not as fast as some of the other guys, so speed and mayhem and chaos can maybe be the secret to success here. Marines over here. I mean, the problem is you still got to be able to deal with the bigger issue of this, which is the army across the map, and that's why the chaos is good, but is it going to be enough? We have the 2-2 upgrades coming up from Kira as well. He's already playing against the 2-2. Marine stepping in, the few Lings already taking some damage. I mean, supply-wise, Kira's still looking good, which I'm kind of sad about. Honestly, I wanted him to I actually wanted to see Mixu. I mean, Mixu getting the first game of this. I mean, that would just really mess up the group even further, right, in terms of map scores and stuff like that. It would be even cooler. But Kira is looking confident now. Too much put into the aggression from Mixu. And don't get me wrong, he was getting damage done. He was putting himself in good positions. It's just clearly not been enough at the end of it all. Not enough at the end of it all. Marines will continue around. I mean, Q is now at like a 40 supply lead is pretty darn serious. Well, like I say, a bit of a shame because I was believing a little bit, man. I was believing a little bit. You've seen the Fungal going to chum through a couple of banelings, hoping that we can maybe get something out of that. It's going to be seeing those lings coming through as well, trying to see what else we got going on. We do have the Marines still pushing in this position right now. This is not seeming like it's going to be enough, as we actually drop a mega Fungal down here, but we don't have enough units to deal with it, man. Really has been a lot of good moments on the side of... Yeah, there really has been a lot of good moments on the side of Mixu, just like I say, not quite the economy and so to really keep this going into the later stages, sadly. I say that's very unfortunate because it's been a very hopeful game, right? I think it's fair to say. And it's been the kind of game where there's been a lot of hope for Mixu, and I've believed in him at a lot of different moments, actually. Believed him in a lot of different moments. These Marines at this point just overstimming. Don't really care at this stage. They just want to guarantee that this base is going to go down. Kira's maxed out again. He really is in absolute prime position to continue through at the moment. And to send him the whole way. And looking to guarantee himself this game one victory. Couple of mine shots go off. The Ultra is going to get involved as well for a little bit. Try and see what we can do. See if it's going to be good enough already. Some damage. Nice that we have the Ultras, but again, I think what we've already been saying of this game is going to remain true, which is that the supply very rarely lies in TVZ. And obviously, especially when it's like this amount of supply, like maybe sometimes with Roaches, supply lies, but in this case, I don't think we're seeing any sort of supply supply situation that we're meant to see not go just the way of the Terran player. Cure. Then looking to close this out, wrap this up. He is going to be under attack again. And he's still got a bunch of units in the bottom right, so he can do more damage, because I presume that this is pretty much everything Mixu has. These Ultras don't even have Chitinous, by the way, so he's flinging out a couple of Fungals, hoping they land for some success. A couple of Liberators set up. We'll see a bit of success as well, to be fair. It's going to have the Lings still continuing to bout here for a few moments. Having the Marines still continuing onto that hatchery, so a little bit more damage being done, a little bit more work being done. You have the Medivacs pulling back over. I'm just going to be seeing the Lings still playing defense, but we're sub 100 supply at this point. It is not feeling as though we're going to have ourselves the victory that we're looking for. Mixu. I mean, trying to, like I say, do what he can, where he can, but the reality is this one is, in my eyes, this one's too far gone. And again, I've been saying it a lot. It's been a very slow ending to the game, so I'm probably repeating myself a little bit. I just, yeah, at some point, games are done. To me, this is one of them times where the games are done. Not a big fake hype guy, you know, so kind of tough to pretend there's something magical going to happen here for Mixu. Because I think we all see that it's absolutely not. Couple more liberator shots coming by, a bit more damage being dealt still. And that is finally going to be the GG, which we're in search of here. Get us wrapped up in game number 1 of this best of 3. Hey, Mixu gave us a good fight, definitely fought for a little bit, but this game was never actually going to turn his way or anything, I don't think. Alright, guys. I had hope. I had some hope, too. I just, yeah. I mean, I had hope early in the game. I actually think early in the game we saw a lot of hope, in fairness. I think early on we had a lot of hope, so... yeah. Alright, guys. We're going to head into game number 2. It's going to be... Rainfall for our second map. Q takes the 1-0 lead. Krystianer, by the way, is already guaranteed to advance, so it will only be one of Kira and Zoun that advances. So, because Krystianer is 2-0 and 4-0, and Zoun lost maps, I guess Krystianer is always safe over Zoun, I would guess. So, that's obviously a big thing to note, guys. I throw the invites out and get this ready to go. Wanted to do better. Bane done detonations. He could have gotten it at the end there. Yeah, right at the end. I think he was still. Nah, I mean, early on, he actually absolutely had a lot of chances to get things done. To be fair, but it never really quite came through. We're now counting down into rainfall for this next map, guys. Get this ready to rumble. In the bottom right-hand side, with the 1-0 lead, our blue Terran player will be Cure, taking on the red Zerg in. Top left, it is Mixu. Like I say, liked what Mixu did early. I like the chaos he provided. I absolutely think if there's a way to see success in a game like this against someone you're an underdog against, it's not a bad way to approach it. I really do not think that is a bad way to approach it at all, to be honest. So, not mind that. Did not mind that. Just wasn't meant to be in the end of the day as our drone throws a hatch down. Drone coming about, Rex and the gas coming over for a few moments, bring that into place. Just have ourselves this game too peaceful. No early pools, no proxy barracks. It's very peaceful and calm to start us off, if nothing else, at least. Which is good. I'll follow the SCV as it has already scouted. Just trying to make sure nothing super crazy is going on early, right? So you're just trying to make sure that we know what's up. So we've seen the Reaper is going to fight a Ling as the first Reaper shows up then, so we'll start to put some damage into place. Get going, get this started, and see what is going to come next. We've seen that Reaper continue to gather around, so we take a few moments, get this set up. Gets turned. It's 8 roaches on the way from Mixu, so he's going to try and bring a little bit more aggression in this next game, which, again, don't really hate. I think, again, you know you're the underdog as Mixu. There's nothing wrong with playing like the underdog, which, you know, sometimes that means cheesing it up a little bit. Sometimes that means being a bit aggressive. Kira has a Banshee on the way. That is not good news, though, for Mixu, because that means he's got a good potential to defend. Obviously, still has to execute, but like I say, the initial lay of the land seems as though it may be a positive one for Kira to hang on in there. Mixu is building drones behind it, so not the first time we've seen him commit to the aggression, then get ready for the drone behind. He's starting to go for that again at the moment here, so bringing that about. Will start to break the front. Obviously, would like to set off the Widow Mines. Letting the Widow Mine fire is really bad, but it doesn't go off, in fact. So for now, we're okay. See that Banshee's still working through a couple more of those units. The Ravager taking a few shots from it all, so a couple more hits coming by for now. Just gonna rejoin ourselves together for a couple moments then, so trying to see what else we got going. Just going to be seeing this Banshee still working onto a few of those roaches, the Hellions and the Widow Mines coming back around also. I mean, this, again, with the Banshee out, you're guaranteed the defense eventually. Just a question of how much do you lose in the process. And the answer here is we've not really lost anything in the process, which is not a good sign. Trying to see a couple of these roaches still taking some damage. A few shots coming about, take some work, get some damage in for now. Couple more Banshee shots just helping out. The spot crawler's here, but the Banshee's just sitting between the bases, and Queen's going down is not exactly going to be a ideal one. Let's see if your roach is still gathering up. We take a couple seconds. Just going to be seeing the drones are going to transfer back over for a few moments as well. Moving around here, the Hellions are going to get up around at the top side of the map also. Trying to see what else we got going on here at the moment. I'm just trying to get further into the main base. Not quite going to see too much success there. A couple of Banshees getting turned around still. See the Banshees still trying to make a little bit extra happen as well. Trying to find a little extra here. And knocking down some rocks. I mean, Mixu's supply is still okay. I just feel as though Q has obviously been able to get into a pretty good setup so far. Zoun's going to get underneath that Overseer, taking some very big damage. So it's going to be a big starting point there. Get some damage done early. You can see the roaches and the queens continue to come about then, so we'll see a little bit more action still building through. The roaches are still going to sit tight, just going to be having the Banshee putting some more damage out as well. Trying to find everything we can for the next couple of moments still. As obviously the Medivacs get into the main base, so if nothing else as well, you're also distracting for these Medivacs to get in position too, which is also a nice added extra. The Roach Rabbit just shove on the other side, so we are going to see some action from Mixu. There's a lot of tanks here. He's kind of tanking the tanks pretty decently so far. Like, he's not just completely melting away as, honestly, I thought he might. So it's not been super terrible, I guess, but I'm still not sure if I'm exactly loving it. Kua is going to be loving it himself. That is going to be the GG. That's going to be good enough. We have ourselves the victory screen for Kua as he takes this best of 3 down. So Kua gets himself off to a good start. Unfortunately for Mixu, 0-3 does not get you out of the group. But thanks to Mixu for playing, giving us some Zerg action in this one. No Zerg advancing out of Group C, so we finally have a Zerg fall. As it will be Zoun and Kua fighting for a playoff spot, and that means that this Zoun-Kua matchup right now is extremely important. I'm pretty sure if Kua wins this, that's it, we're done. And if Zoun wins this, then it is possible that Zoun can make it in over Kua if Krystianer beats Kua too. So that's going to be what we go for next. We're going to hop on over to Korea, and it is going to be Zoun-Kua. We come back to America after for Krystianer versus Kua to wrap us up. Don't know why Krystianer had to play the first 2 and then map 6. Bad scheduling on my side. Didn't notice that one apparently. There's a few things I try and keep track of when we do the match order for these games. Usually I try and start on a mirror matchup. But usually if someone plays match 1, their latest match they play is match 5. But clearly I thought that Krystianer was going to be an important end match or something to kind of make the group interesting. So clearly I didn't quite stick to my own rules. Didn't quite stick to my own rules. Alright, throw some ads out and we'll get ready to go, guys. Myself momentarily. Just get the Kura and Zoun ready to begin. Very, very soon. Awesome. Kua comes online. We got Zoun here already. Cool. Get this out, guys, and we'll be on our way in a moment. Hi, and go gets called. Kua's TVZ isn't the better, but Mixu isn't strong enough right now. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still really liked how Mixu played the first game, to be honest. I was impressed he made it competitive already in game 1, if nothing else. Cults and Temple, Fear and Faith, the 2 vetoes initially from Kua, Lockdown vetoed by Zoun. Going to be our current starting point. Blackrock, Rorschach. Interesting that Kua takes out Rorschach. I guess TVP. Actually, a lot of the Terrans don't mind playing Ults and Temple in this map pool in TVP, so I guess that's kind of interesting as well, maybe. Maybe also a little noteworthy. Maybe just a little. Rainfall comes in for final veto. I do have a fly in my room. Come on, buddy. Let's get you out of here. Oh, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. The open window's this way. Go, go, go. No! Oh, buddy, you were so close. All you had to do was fly at the window again. You were in the right position, and then you didn't fly toward the window. Flies are tough, man. Try and help them. They just don't know. Alright, let's get started. Flies the stupidest animals alive. They can't help it. Just how it is, man. I mean, to be fair, there's like a big... They can see the world out there. It's just they can't get to it. It's like, imagine we had like an invisible wall. We're like, what? Why can't I get out there? Hey, go up, buddy. All you gotta do is go up. You're in the right position again, and he doesn't do it. Oh my goodness. Players are ready. Let's get us on the go. I thought we had him. I thought we had him. Freedom for the fly. Apparently not. Oh, fun. We've got the lobby bug. Try this again. I forgot how fun it's going to be trying to get into games in the Korean server. I haven't had to deal with this in my own tournament yet, really, so... Or at least when I was being the host. So it's not being too bad. I just let someone else deal with the fact they have to rehost the game 4 or 5 times. 200 IQ move. Let someone else deal with the issue. Alright. Let's jump into it as we have in the bottom right hand side the blue pros player to start us off. This is going to be Zoun. Taking on the red Terran in the top left corner of At Eternity's Edge. This is going to be Hua. Game number 1 of the BO3 coming up, and it's a really important one. Zoun loses this and he is out. If Zoun wins this, he has a chance to move through still, but it will still depend on other results. And Probe starts to move across the map. Kira and Zoun, big one then, like I say, for this group as we just explained. And get this settled in right here. Look to see what's going to happen. Probe shows up. He's going to actually get a nibble on that SEV straight away, so going to put some work in on that right from the get-go, so be able to put some damage out. Put some pressure on. Now Reaper is going to be coming through most notably right now, so getting that Reaper up and running, getting that set to go as well for the moment. We've seen the Probe coming back around for a couple seconds as well then, so again, just a little bit of setup, trying to see what we can do. Get ourselves up and running in a couple of these positions. Really, what's up, babes? Has the fly found its way to you and it's distracting you? Oh, I bet it is, babes. Yeah, I know, baby. I can't help you fight the fly right now. You have to be a big girl and handle it yourself. Oh, no, she doesn't like that news. You don't like that news, do you not? Just a fly, babes. Just a little buzzy thing. It's just a little buzzy thing. Ellie's not a fan of flies. I'm just gonna see the couple of Reapers coming back around. Sorry, I got distracted. Did they kill 2 probes? 2 probes. 2 probes dead in the game. Ellie, you're gonna have to leave. I can't have you. Annoyingness. Go on. No, you can't have the leftovers my dinner. Go. Go on. Yeah. Alright, we got the Reapers coming back through, putting on a little bit more pressure then, so just trying to find a little extra opportunity. Coming in ahead with immediate effect. Getting on the go, a couple of Reapers will fight around for a few seconds. Trying to see what we got going on. See if we get anything exciting happening. Answer is not really just yet then, as we take a couple more moments, get this set up, and just seeing the hallucination moving over. The couple stalkers will help to push back some of those earlier units then, and just be done with them. So pushing them away for a couple moments, and on we continue. And in fact, it's going to bring the Widow Mine drop over though, so we're going to have that coming in as the next stage of this. So the Widow Mines will make their way through. The Widow Mine shot going off only the probe, so it's not too bad overall here. Pretty reasonable at the moment. Just going to be seeing this Widow Mine coming back around again, and it's going to burrow up once more. Going to hit this probe again, so going to do some job of things for the moment, if nothing else. More workers going down. Again, we continue to move about here for a couple of seconds. Try and see what else we got going on. And the hallucination moves back over to the side, so bringing this over for a few moments as well. And just obviously getting further info means that you're constantly seeing what's up. Cure. His current choice is to get Stone plus 1 star. Zoun is going to play into the Robo Bay. Not too surprising. Again, Colossus have been buffed recently, so I think a lot of people, even if... Well, I think Colossus were already popular in the matchup, and then they take a buff. They're obviously going to be even more popular, right? So we're definitely seeing the follow-up on basically that advantage being given to the Protoss. But like I say, it's not unnatural for this to be kind of the choice anyways from Protoss players, so... Like I say, it's not really like a super like, oh my god, you know, Colossus are like the go-to now. They're kind of already the go-to. I don't think that was like I say, a change that really had super heavy impacts in the grand scheme of things. Let's just see our Robo Bay getting that thermal lance on the way then. The upgrades, the Bio Army, Stim Combat, and +1 all build through. At least all the flying around. I was scared. I knew it was a fly. I knew it was the fly. Because she doesn't come to me like this for anything apart from either food or if she needs saving. She's nothing if not consistent, I guess. Nothing if not consistent. It's really crazy that she's scared of flies, though. Bio4 is going to push the few stalkers away. I'm just going to be having the forge, the gates, the thermal lens, and the charge continue to build up at the moment. seeing it come around that little bit. We're just going to see that Raven taking a couple shots too. So Raven taking a few hits. We are going to be seeing this push setting up. Good tank positioning, able to do okay for itself as well for a couple of seconds, if nothing else. We're not going to be having the Stalkers. It's not going to be enough. Cure overwhelms. Cure with the 1-0 lead. Cure, that might already eliminate. I guess it doesn't eliminate Zoun if he wins the series and Cure loses to Krystianer, but the map score of Zoun is going to be in the bin. So, like, Zoun needs to beat Cure, and he needs Krystianer to beat Cure, like, 100% right now, for this group to potentially go his way. It's not been a good one for Zoun, unfortunately. Is we ready up for a game 2? The second map is a washout. I had to scroll a little bit because we had to rehost it a couple times, and Zoun is taking a second as well anyway, so we'll give him a moment. We'll get resumed. Try and get back on track. Alright, washout for game 2. Let's hope we don't bug out to load in the game. Is that build order win? I think that was a build order that Zoun wasn't ready to deal with. I think it's maybe one of the fairer ways to say it. Let's get our players ready to go. I should be able to send this, guys. Zoun just chatting for a couple seconds. I think Zoun's also figuring out what went on. Zoun just said he was... So Zoun, I think, built batteries early, and so he was very slow to expand to the third. They're discussing it right now in the lobby chat, so I think Koreans had to translate, but I think the general gist is that Zoun felt as though he got a bit too far behind, essentially, and just wasn't able to... Because Q was like, weren't you a bit late to expand? And I think Zoun's just like, yeah, I just couldn't afford to as quickly as I needed to, and maybe I'm already just super behind with how crisp your build is, I think, is the general essence of what the players are saying to one another there. It is going to be Zoun in the bottom left, Cure in the upper right as we go to game 2. Cure looking to eliminate Zoun with a map win here, and hence the series win. Let's see if it will happen or not. Let's see if we can bounce back. Yeah, Krystianer won the first 2 matches of the day, guys. So Krystianer's already in a great position for this group. He's already guaranteed to advance, so yeah, we know Krystianer's in a great spot. It is, again, Q or Zoun for the second spot in the playoffs. Of course, Q against Krystianer could be a fight for first place as well. If Q wins this, that last match of the day is not pointless. It will be for seeding, which is obviously typically still very important, so yeah. Fear not, we do not have a pointless match here, at least as Proby nibbles at the SCV a couple seconds. A few moments, Reaper just on its way up, nothing really too wild right now. Yeah, Probe keeps moving about, moving through for a couple of seconds, seeing what we have going on. Wants to get as much information as you can. Will have to be out of here long before the Reaper pops, of course. Don't want to actually lose your probe, want to keep that part alive, but otherwise, yeah, just trying to see a little bit of what's happening. It gets to come across the map, and we'll try and apply some pressure here then in the next few moments, get that set to go. Get that in just a moment. So again, bringing that about, getting that on the way here. Taking a few moments to start this off. Again, the Reapers and the Hellion just going to gather around. Wolfgate is going to join up for a few seconds as well, so we take a couple moments. Wants to get those early units out from Kieran. He can try and put some early pressure on, see if he can get something moving in his favor super quickly or not. Let's find the probe over on the map, which is nice, especially nowadays. Probes are pretty cheeky, you know, because all it takes is one pylon and you're instantly in trouble when it comes to warp-ins. You don't even need a pylon in the warp gate anymore for nice, fast, speedy warp-ins, so that is nice. I'm gonna get the gates coming about, robot facility coming through. For a handful of seconds here, get that started. It's going to see the Banshee and the tank coming through as well, so again, bring this into place for a couple of moments. We just have the Reapers and the Aliens will continue to move by for a few more moments as well. Get that set up, see where we go. Look back around a couple seconds again. Banshee and the cloaking continuing through, trying to see what else we get going on. Again, that Banshee coming about, a couple of Marines and the cloaking coming through as well, getting that on the roll. I'm just going to have the Adepts actually going to shade in. We've got an SEV 2, should be possible, but we misclicked the Mule instead of the SEV, unfortunately, so doesn't end up being ideal, unfortunately. I have the Reapers and Hellions coming about. Just going to be having the Observer. Is obviously having a little bit of a scout. Nothing too much happening just yet, guys. Take a few moments. Banshee is actually going to get caught pretty nicely. Good defense right off the bat from Zoun. Doesn't get the kill, but obviously at least stops the Banshee coming in and looking for some potential damage. So very early on, making this a much easier scenario for yourself. Actually gets the kill now, so we do get the full kill on that. But again, we take this. Nicely done. You see the Stalkers having to play a bit more defense as well, but they got that job done. Again, job well done for the moment. No problem just yet. Seeing the Banshee number 2 is going to have to think twice about where it comes from right now, I imagine. So try and move this around a little. Punk will stay set up for a little bit then, so again we take a few moments to get that all ready, figure out what we can try and do here. expansion shots going through, but the damage being done straight away. So we are once again going to find ourselves at least a couple of kills early, putting a bit more work in. See that Banshee gonna get shot down by the Stalkers. Not quite in the end. It's, thought it may have been able to make a pull away, but that's why I was like, oh, not quite. But yeah, it didn't really happen. Not too much else happened on that one. The Stalker's gonna come back around. We take a few more moments. Figure out what we would like to do. And the next little bit of this. But the Stalker's coming back around. Big push from Cure coming around as well. Continue to make some moves at the moment here. So again, settling up, seeing what we can find. We've seen there's a bit of bio trading with some of those units. A few shots going out pretty decently for the moment as well. Get a bit more damage dealt. I see a couple of these Zelds are going to try and break through on this mineral line. It's a bunker here with not many units inside. So the Zelds have a chance to get into that natural and do some work. How well do we trade here? That Colossus does not have thermal lance, so it's going to be difficult for it to do too much. CVs have to pull in over on this side, but that base gets cancelled. So at least Cure is striking back at the same kind of rate at which we are striking as well. Obviously, keeping his own 3 bases up and running is going to be an important part of this. Does seem to be able to do that so far. Medivac's thinking about the drop in toward the main base. Not quite going to commit to that just yet. Like he might have had a plan to do something there for a moment, but nothing really came of it for now. Fire Force continuing to come back over. Hope's going about again, +2 attack. A couple of Nexus, double expand from Zoun. He's obviously been slowed a little bit in terms of getting that expansion up from what he wanted, so he's going to try his best to bring that back a little bit instead and just get the double expand going. And if Kyo doesn't deny either, then Zoun does start to get his economy kind of where he really wants it to be, so it definitely takes a big step in the right direction at that stage then, so getting into a better place there for sure. And Colossus gather up. We take a few moments. Where are we going to go from this? Are we going to go fight? Or are we going to just hang back? Just sit back for now. Nothing really taking place just yet. Now Zoun is pushing a little bit, so we are now kind of shoving our way into position a little bit here, trying to see what we can do. Trying to find some opportunity. As he's going to scare Cure from kind of committing into the 4th base, essentially, which is not a bad thing. And again, you keep him off that 4th base, you can put yourself, or keep yourself in a very comfortable position here, more than likely. I like the approach that we're taking here from Zoun, slowing the Terran just by presence on the map more than anything else. We are going to see some rocks that end up taking some damage a few moments too. And because I'm sitting nearby, +3 attack, +1 armor, both coming up as well. Continue to get that into play for a couple of moments. Just going to see the Vikings able to push back nicely. The Colossus not doing a great job here. We need the Stalkers to start shutting the Vikings down. If we don't shut the Vikings down, The Colossus count falls very quickly. One Colossus will live, but I feel that Zoun is just losing everything else way too quickly at the moment. The rest of this army melted, even if the Colossus, like I said, I was looking at the Colossus because usually that's what's really important, but if everything else dies, then the Colossi obviously get overwhelmed after anyway. And that is very much so the case of what happens here. That is not going to be a happy ending. It's not going to be a happy ending at all. Now Q just goes straight across the map and just starts to put himself in a great position. Yep, that will do it. Plain and simple. And let's just see the Bio going to sit here and just knock down the Nexus. I mean, Zoun's going to intercept some of the reinforcements that are coming over, and that's going to give him a little bit of a better fight at least. A little bit of a step in the right sort of direction to help him kind of get where he needs to be. If you can get rid of some of these units, then maybe you clean up, maybe this game continues. Problem is, Q is on 4 bases now, and we'll move to a 5th after this as well. So even if you clean up here, you're not exactly putting yourself in an amazing spot. You're just keeping yourself alive, and there's always a scenario where keeping yourself alive in StarCraft is just not good enough, and I think that's probably the case for Zoun. But hey, being alive is better than being dead, and it keeps you, like I say, at least in the game with opportunity for other things to maybe happen still. So let's see. Comes back over. This next base found. It's going to knock Zoun down to 4 bases. Obviously, equal base count is something the Terran players almost always going to be a fan of. Don't think they're ever going to be upset about that being the case. It's just so good for a Terran equal base count in the TVP because the pros typically wants to out-expand, trade inefficiently into you, but make up for it with obviously all the expansions and the bases. We've got to drop the double expansion here from Zoun just to try and bring us a little bit more back on track again. Colossus is going to push through. A couple Marauders take some damage right away, and we are going to see the Stalkers blinking forward for this as well, so looking for that chance to get a little extra done. I mean, Ricotta kind of goes down. To be fair, the army is looking good at the moment. As Kira tries to take a 5th base, he has to fall back to his siege tank. The Liberator is putting work in that finally got dealt with. Finally started getting cleaned up a little bit. Couple more Colossus continue to come across. Ourselves, the Colossus still continue to hit hard. The couple of Vikings around the edge at this point actually doing some good work. Now Q's supply continues to fall with 20 SCVs down. A lot of that is in the work count. His army is still somewhat reasonable at the moment. We've seen the Zards, the Colossus coming back through again. And we've seen the scan coming down once more, trying to see what else we got going on here. So we've seen this Bio having to kite backwards. A couple Colossus still coming through, looking to push into this. The Zards definitely taking a charge up front at the moment. And the Zards are still trying to make their way forward as well. Going to be seeing this Bio still pushing around. Do have Pure absolutely not having enough. This what a crazy turnaround. I thought Zoun was dead in the water. That's why you play to stay in the game, guys. I didn't think Kira was going to fall apart so heavily though. Just couldn't find an answer to the army. This is a good fight for Kira. If there's ever a fight that still keeps you in this, this is it. Zoun, what are we doing? Why would you ever commit to the fight here? Why would we ever commit to this fight? I mean, does Zoun think he's about to lose this game? Because that's a desperation move. 9 times out of 10, that's never going to work. And you only make this move like because you feel like you have to. Kira brings this game back just like that. Oh my goodness. That is a little crazy. Wow. All right, well. I do have a moment of calm now as we reset things a little bit here. And we get back on track. So the Marine's actually going to run in. Denying some economy right now would obviously be very good as well. Would be a great way to put you into a better position here as the Terran player. Bio Liberator coming back around. A couple extra Zealots coming up as well. Coming back over once more for a few moments. The Liberators are sieging up once again here. Just going to see this Bioforce still gathering. So Medevac is not going to have as much fortune as we would like, but we deny the Prism at least, which means that Zoun is not going to be able to get in over on this side. Just going to be able to close that out for the moment. We have the Zealots and company rejoin here. Both players are going to get maxed out soon. Now, Zoun actually has a lot of resource in the bank. He has a lot of minerals available, so he has a lot of Zealots he could warp in here, given a little bit of time, so that should also be quite interesting. Let's see how that works out. Okay, bring this over, just gonna have ourselves the... Only continuing through, the Zealots coming around. And again, a couple of Colossus continue to gather up as well. Now, this army from Zoun, it's not amazing. It's very Zealot heavy. And to be fair, 10 Liberators in this game, I think it's fair to say that this Terran army is maybe the better army in the game right now. So, Kira being able to rebuild into so many good units is extremely noteworthy. So, you can see the Liberator siege up. Zoun's force does not even stand half of a chance here. This wasn't even slightly close in terms of possibility of what was just happening. And now Q taking full advantage of the opportunity to come back around the other way and the other direction. Away we go. Just going to be seeing this Nexus is going to end up in some trouble. So let's see the... Stalker's at least counterattacking through. I mean, Kira is obviously going to focus on doing damage himself, but Zoun is going to counter as well. Realizing that he lost the big fight, he's straight back to business in terms of just trying to delay and deny his opponent from having a good possible outcome of this. Again, this force from Kira continues to move across. It is looking extremely good. I think that's just extremely fair to say. It's not really looking like an army. It's going to be going the way of the Protoss player. I can't believe Zoun attacked into the natural. It was just so unnecessary. Like, of all the things you could have done in that moment, attacking the natural expansion in that way, I just don't know, like this never is going to work, you know? This is just a move where it's like 100% of the time you lose this fight. And if you don't see that you're going to lose it straight away, you should at least see it partway through, you know? Because partway through, you actually do kind of just realize, oh, I'm losing this, so just stop running away. You know, run back. Disengage. You're allowed to stop committing to a fight. A crazy moment that lost this one for Zoun and hence will end his day here in the WardiTV Summer Cup and end his tournament. Well, unless he turns it around again, which maybe is still the case. I'm don't like it's over. Sorry, I'm being negative because I feel like Zoun threw it a little bit. But it's not done because now Kira is only at a single SCV. So now he has to kind of win with the army that he's got, which is also kind of a crazy statement. I mean, what is going on? This game has been wild. I mean, sorry, I really was getting carried away with the anti-Zoun moment of this game, but really shouldn't have done because, yeah, this is absolutely still competitive here, guys. Kira's army is great. He's base trading through. How much do we have in terms of Zoun? And he's actually going to, I think you can already see, he's having to start rebuilding. Now, he's already having to start rebuilding some of the gateways, which is not a good sign, because if you're having to rebuild your gateways, it means you've got to wait on that to get your production back on track. That generally is, like I say, not ideal. $152 to $137 supply queue with a single SCV left in this game. He has 9. I mean, he can mule, obviously. Terrans do have the ability to mule, guys, believe it or not. I know, crazy talks. We can mule. As these liberators are set up, these libs are going to do work, but only if they're supported properly. And right now they are. It's a lot of Stalker Immortal against this force. The liberators are still getting some chips off. The rest of the libs are about to show up. 101 to 21 army supply, guys. Kua is going to win what is the final fight of this game, I believe. And that is probably going to do it. Libs, Bio coming back over. I mean, at this point, you just got quadruple the army supply. I would imagine that number is likely more than good enough. A bunch more Zealots building off of that base in the bottom right, so at least we're getting some supply up, but it's unrealistic because we just have no tech in this army anymore either. And again, with 13 Liberators available, obviously you can maybe catch those Libs on siege a couple of times, but you have to really be making the mistakes for that to happen, I think, unfortunately. I think you really have to be making mistakes for that to happen. GG's, Kua takes a 2-0. GG, well played. I mean, it was an absolute mess of a set of games, let's be real. It was an absolute mess of a set of games. GG's. Alright, we hop on over to NA for our final match of the day, guys. It's going to be Kua against Krystianer. Kua and Krystianer are both guaranteed to advance, both 2-0, 4-0. It's a straight up best of 3 to determine who goes in first place, who goes in second. The first place finish means you likely play Yakov or Percival. A second place finish means Sola or Shin. Of course, there's Group D still to be played. I mean, Group D is just tough all around. But generally, I would say it's fair to say that first place versus second place finish is worth the seeding difference. So we'll get into that in a few moments, my guys. I get this ready to go. Thanks for joining us again today. Appreciate you guys. If you are enjoying, do not forget to like on the YouTube, follow here on the Twitch, and we will also do a little sellout, I guess, when we start this next match. As it's Krystianer versus Kua coming up. Krystianer gets to play Central, I believe. Alright, just waiting for Kua to hop over. And we can get this on the way, guys. Again, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all. Cool. Kua just logged in, so it should just be a minute or two. We can kick this off into a final map of the day, guys. Beautiful. I'm gonna hope everyone is having a good time. Appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us. Cool. Alright, Call of Videos will be on the way in, guys. What's the prize pool for this? $1,000. So, Summer Cup. The format we have this year is that you have the tiers of competition, or for each season we have the cup. So there's the Summer Cup, that's $1,000. Top 4 get a guaranteed seed in the Summer Championship. The Summer Championship is $5,000. And obviously we have the weeklies at $400 every week. So it goes weeklies 400, cups 1,000, championship 5,000, and then at the end of the year we have the end of year WardiTV event. I would like to say that's going to be $10,000, but that will probably depend a little bit on our crowdfunding and stuff still, guys. I mean, I don't even know what StarCraft's going to be like in 5 months, you know, so we're going to have it. It's just, you know, if viewership is down and sub count can't get back up on a consistent basis and stuff like this, then it will maybe be a smaller end of year event and stuff like that. How am I funding this? Offline WardiTV? No, not offline. I'm, guys, there's, as cool as offline events are, in the current day and age of StarCraft 2, I think it's very irresponsible to run offline events when you're someone like me. When, don't get me wrong, like, I think offline events are cool. I think offline events are very awesome, but like, realistically, for the cost of an offline event, we could run like 3 online events. And right now, I think one of the most important things is keeping the players playing, and the best thing to do that is to pay them, you know? So, yeah. Offline events are cool. Offline events are definitely not for, just the shits and giggles of, we can do this, you know? I'd rather run 3 more tournaments. Yeah, how am I funding this? So this is why I was waiting for the ads to finish up so we could sell out a little bit. Of course, there's the WardiTV Patreon page, patreon.com/WardiTV. 100% of everything pledged on Patreon goes directly into WardiTV tournament prize money. So 100% of anything you pledge on Patreon ends up in the pockets of the players that you see on the stream and taking part and competing. The Patreon, I can't stress enough, the Patreon is absolutely the best way you can support competitive StarCraft 2 on my channel. Obviously, there's a bunch of different people who do a bunch of different tournaments. We offer the best possible deal there is in terms of supporting tournaments. 100% of everything goes to the players. We even cover transaction fees. So if you donate $10 on the Patreon, $10 will absolutely end up in the pockets of a StarCraft 2 player. Okay, so definitely check out the Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/WardiTV. Like I say, 100% goes to the players, because the players are the most important part of keeping StarCraft 2 at a high level going. And of course, if you really enjoy, there's other ways to support as well. Obviously, just the channel doing well allows us to bulk up the prize pools. Not everything comes from Patreon, but Patreon is our foundation for running events. So don't get me wrong, like the Patreon is the foundation, but it's not everything. We've got a lot of different things going on. Obviously, if you subscribe, that helps us out a bunch. If you donate, that helps out. If you want to make a larger donation and actually just like sponsor a tournament, you are absolutely allowed to do that too. You can reach out to me if you want something out of it or so. Like there's really just endless ways that you guys can support. And again, support good. Support means StarCraft, to put it simply. So do consider, like I said, checking it out. Like I said, we really appreciate it, and it really allows us to do more. I mean, again, I always talk about this cycle of StarCraft, right? Where if you guys support, we can put more on StarCraft on, which means that you guys get more to watch. If you guys have more to watch and more StarCraft, we can sell out more, we can get more people to support, and it's just a really nice kind of cycle of you support and you get something out of it, we get more StarCraft, and we just kind of keep that cycle going. That is how we work here at WardiTV. So yeah. Invisibles, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs, pushing us back above 500. We've been fighting the 500 subscriber mark lately. Thank you so much, Invisibles, for the 5 gifted subs, going out to Traveling Sin, The Betrayer, Slovenia Number, Correo, and Zipview. Thank you so much very much for the 5 gifted subs. There's this crux of how offline events draw a lot of interest, but online cups have a much better payout ratio. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, though, it's like, if I ran an offline event, I may say an offline event costs me $20,000, right? And the players get paid, even the players get paid $10,000. I mean, there's already this problem of, like, say I run a $5,000 event versus a $10,000 event. Am I better to run one $10,000 event, or am I better to run 2 $5,000 events? A lot of the time, the answer is 2 $5,000 events, right? And while that may not be, you may not get the bonus viewership of like Serral and Mara and stuff, the ability to have like 2 events and something that runs over the course of twice as long just outweighs the fact of it just outweighs the benefits of trying to get one event and stuff, and the extra stuff from that one event. So there's got to be this kind of there's always this kind of continuous kind of figuring out of what is best to do and what we should do and what people like. I mean, I think we're in a pretty happy position where we run the championship events, we have the weeklies, we do a good mix, right? Like, you know, this one's not a big one, the Summer Cup, but it builds into something bigger in the end of the day as well, right? And that's nice too. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit all over. So yeah, there you go. There's some yapping from Wardy. Just some yapping. What's the current soundtrack? It's all StarCraft music. It's just... if it's something you don't recognize, it's probably from Nova Covert Ops. Is the general rule of thumb I've been telling people. If you don't recognize it, it's probably a Nova Covert Ops music piece. Has been the case more often than not. This isn't Nova Covert Ops. This is WoW music? Why have we got WoW music in StarCraft? What? Did they just randomly add some WoW music in just to mix it up a bit? Ay. Crazy. That is crazy. It's not WoW music? I didn't think it was. Here, Krystianer, I'll set up, guys. Sorry, I'm yapping on about tournaments and stuff. You guys gotta not talk to me about tournament organizing. I will yap about it forever. Seriously. We have in the Nexus a couple gates, the +1 and the charge coming around for a few moments. So we get that on the go. Get that started here. The Stalker's ready to start poking for some potential damage. Let's see if the Marines gathering up, so we take a couple moments. This on the way, see where we're going. See what will take place. We just have the charge and +1 continue to come around for a few moments. See where we're going. I mean, Krystianer's obviously not being too aggressive or anything, so we just get to continue settling down and setting up basically right now. The Stalker's joining up for us as well for a little bit. A few Marines just going to be taking some damage to a few shots coming through. A few hits coming down right now. Io is shoving Takeo, starting to get this damage in position, seeing what you can do. Again, both these players are going to advance from today, but the question is who's going to finish in first place and get that better seeding. That will be the big question. See the tank's getting in position already. It's just going to be coming through, and we see a couple of Zell trying to charge forward as well. At the moment here, so bringing this into position. Still, a moment. And we've seen the Protoss forces bouncing this back pretty decently. It's not super crazy or anything, but doing an alright job of this for the moment. Just going to keep the bio back a little bit as well. I'm going to fight back through and again, just try and get a little bit more done. Find a little bit more action here at this point. And Kira gets pushed back his supply about 120, so he's looking good in terms of the supply situation here. But looking fine for now. And do have the Order Mines and so coming through, and just have ourselves the +2 attack, the thermal lens. The Colossus is going to be the build that we head to at the moment here. So again, getting that up and running for a couple more moments. Continue to bring that into place just for now. So we're seeing the Protoss Krystianer going to take a few moments, just knock through this set of rocks there, so knocking that down a little bit. So you guys talking about co-op. Did you guys have you guys checked out the Zero Space co-op yet? I've been seeing a couple of people play it. It looks actually genuinely kind of cool. Looks kind of cool from what I've seen. It's Zero Space went into early access on a couple days ago, so yeah, kind of cool to see the co-op. The co-op looks fun. I'm gonna check it out. I want to check out Zero Space in general at some point. Just my stream times this week, because I'm starting at because I've set myself up to start like an hour later than usual. My stream times are not great for doing something like a bonus thing afterwards, basically. So yeah, it's been a little awkward. Been a little awkward. Just gonna see our Stalkers coming through a little bit of bio. Gonna be taking some damage. And Krystianer stepping onto the map here. He's already up to the 4, going to 5 bases. Obviously would love to try and slow down the Terran player from getting to the 4 base setup themselves as much as possible. This is kind of what you're doing by being present over here and just being on the map. And there's definitely a positive to that, is we're gonna find ourselves a depot or so. See our bio coming in from a couple of angles. The Vikings gonna put some work out as well. In we go. Big fight moment. I mean, obviously, Krystianer did not really deal with the Vikings very well. You can just see that by, I say obviously, because you can see the Vikings are still very much on the sky and all the Colossus are gone. So the Colossus do not get protected. Without the protection on the Colossus, I'm a little concerned for Krystianer, because now he doesn't have the splash to necessarily push a lot of the rest of this back, and that obviously feels, like I say, a little bit scary, a little bit uh-oh kind of moment here. As we continue to settle through and see what comes next. A little bit of this bio joining up together, some of the Vikings still gathering with everything as well. Settling down for the moment. And 2 upgrades about to finish from QS. He's going to even out the upgrade. So one of the advantages that Krystianer had is fast disappearing. As this Bio Viking force comes back over for a moment or so. So we see another pylon just going to get grabbed here. Just going to take that out. Take that down already. Do have the Vikings coming back over again, so stepping through, and again just going to be left alone. The Stalkers in the wrong position to defend these Colossus. It's a real disaster. It's a real disaster. I mean, Kira is just winning fight after fight so far. It's not even really being that close. He's been pretty good about it so far. He's done a good job for himself up until this point. Let's see this Bio Viking force continue to gather around, so we take a couple seconds. The Stalker's warping in. We're both going to get maxed out again. Main thing is that Q obviously now gets to a 4th base of his own. So being able to be on 4 base, and this is one thing we've seen from the Terrans lately. I do think this is where, I don't know if it's just the mineral change or what, but like it feels like a Terran that gets to 4 base now very quickly seems to get into 5 base in this TVP matchup. Like I feel we go from 4 base to 5 base very comfortably, which was not really the case before, you know? That's not really how it was going beforehand, so yeah. Let's see what happens here as we continue through. Just going to see the Protoss force is ready for a push in at the moment. Krystianer's been struggling in some of these larger fights. It's obviously not great because we're in a game where you're going to be playing larger fights. There's not really two ways around that, right? So yeah, you're playing the kind of game that's not exactly been looking good for you so far. So it's not ideal. Not ideal in the slightest. More setups continuing. Just going to be seeing, obviously, the Protoss force. Okay, well, actually gets into a good position pushing towards the top side base. I like that. That actually does a lot of good for you here as the Protoss, because then you can pressure a base that the Terran was not really actually that close to defending. And we kind of pulled back from it, so... Stalker Colossus coming back around, a couple Liberators are coming up, plus 3 ship weapons, and the Liberator range continuing in as well. Let's continue to get that on the go here. So we'll have a couple extra libs sieging up. I mean, once we're at these libs, there's only so long you can really fight against these lib-based armies for as a Protoss until you need to really think about the Sky Toss tech. Right now it's okay-ish, you know, right now we're fine, but we've got things we'd like to do, essentially. Let's see how it continues as we have ourselves the Colossus coming back down the bottom. I like just a medevac here, even just getting a little bit of work done, a little bit of action moving, a little bit of something going your way at the moment. A smiled opportunity as the command center is set up. We bring this all around. Protoss force trying to find a way around over here, but not really going to see too much success out of that, really, at the moment. Looking around the center, kind of an interesting map because of the fact that you have that kind of slow zone area. It's actually very powerful. The slow zone area, it does a lot to slow you down and to put you in a pretty rough position, to be fair. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We have our Nexus and a few DTs warping in. Obviously, map is starting to be controlled by the Protoss, but we have a good enough base count for me as the Terran player right now. We have a good enough base count that we're not super worried about the Protoss taking the map. So Krystianer not going to be in that super control and eco position. So he's going to have to be more cautious about the trades he takes, which is maybe why we're starting to see the DTs come into factor again, because you can't just sort of sit there and do your thing. You know, like you've got to actually be a little bit more proactive in kind of actually dealing damage and slowing the Terran a little bit, because otherwise, because DTs obviously they've always been a thing in TVP, but I would say they've been something that we've seen come about more recently than I was expecting them to have been, I suppose. Have the Stalker coming through, those other Stalkers coming across. A couple Colossus gathering around it as well for a few moments there, so holding out with that for the moment. Let's just have the extra commanders still building, Marines in the vehicle plane coming up. Liberators are going to siege, and these Colossus, and the Stalkers have to go running. I mean, again, I'm yet to see Krystianer really win a true kind of later game fight, and that's not to say that he can't win one soon, you know, like, it's not to say that that's it, it's just he's never going to win one, but it has been a struggle for him throughout this entire game, and again, that part has just not been rectified at any stage yet, so still waiting to see if that, like I say, is something that Krystianer can figure out. The DTs are not finding too much damage. There's a lot of them. They just walked back into a scan with Bio showing up. EMP can obviously soften them up as well. I believe some of their blinks are on cooldown. Okay, we blink away now. It was definitely a scary moment there for our Protoss play. That would have been a lot of DTs to lose. DTs are not cheap. They're very expensive units, so losing a bunch of them all at once would be pretty rough for you in general. Not what you want to see. As we are going to see the DT showing back up, it honestly looks like that's a defense over in that direction. We are going to jump through here, and the Stalkers try and cause some chaos. You can again just see Krystianer and just how scrappy this has to be for him. He's going to kill a base. 14,000 resources banked, by the way. Is definitely a statement, to say the least. That's a lot of resources we got caught up right now. Actually very curious if that's going to be very interested as to how that's going to go, because that's a lot of resources but not a lot of gas to go with it. Meanwhile, Q has nothing in the bank. This is one of those moments where Q has to be really careful. If he loses too much economy all at once, he could end up in a lot of trouble very quickly. So he's going to have to be really cautious about that. Otherwise, yeah, this could be a real big issue really soon. Let's see, I'll Stalk Colossus coming back around, just repositioning a little bit here again. Just gather it back together here and take a few moments. Big push on the left-hand side. Obviously, started tonight base is going to be a lot of minnows we got to chew through here on the side of Q, but you got to chew through them at some point. Like, they've already been mined. They're not just going to disappear if you don't do anything. So working through the bases. Right now, killing the base is still important because you're going to deny gas mining, right? And I do think there's going to be an issue here where Krystianer just does not have the gas to really accompany this. Like, he can make 87 Zealots, but if 87 Zealots are going to headbutt into this army, they ain't what you need, you know? You're going to need something at least to support them, and that's what we're kind of trying to work to a little bit. Medevac's coming around, a couple probes join up, the Liberators will take a few shots. Just going to see the Command Center wants to land in this position, so we need to deny this position first. We'll aim to do that just initially. Back around, still on the move here for a few moments. Just going to be seeing the army pushing in. Like, this is going to be kind of fun from Krystianer because he's going to kill a lot of the workers of Q. So he's going to remove Q's ability to rebuild. And again, Krystianer already has money banked. So if Q doesn't shut down the production, then that money that is banked up does not necessarily get wasted, right? And that's what you're kind of aiming for if you set up for something that happens quickly here now. That's kind of what you got to be hoping happens. Not the Liberator sieging for a moment or two. I'm just going to be taking some fire. Just going to see a couple of medevacs still boosting up towards the top side. So just going to be following along with that for now at least. Gathering, a couple of these Zealots are going to start dropping this orbital command. Try and take position back over this bottom right-hand corner, so getting back in place here. Krystianer trying to be annoying. I mean, right now you actually do need to kind of stop the fresher base coming up from the Terran, because if you can, you're going to put yourself in a winning position potentially. Could be kind of a big deal. Colossus just going to shoot a couple of the SCVs and the Mule, getting hit hard on this one. Just going to be seeing the Stalkers, the Zealots, the Colossus coming around, just going to force these orbitals to lift off. EMPs available to potentially coming in as well. The orbitals just going to back away from this. Another 13 Zealots getting added straight into this at the moment as well. Let's bring that straight over right now. The Liberators again trying to hold off what they can, trying to hold up anything possible at the moment. This Bioforce is being constantly trying to obviously deny bases. Krystianer is now down to 2,000 minerals remaining, by the way. We've broken through that ridiculously large bank that the Protoss player had at one point. Siege here is good. Oh, perfect trap from Cure. Krystianer was like, wait, they're alone? He's like, wait, I'm going to double check. They're alone? And he's like, they're alone. And then, boom, he blinks in and they're not alone. They were not alone at all. And that's a disaster now for sure. Oh, dear. That is not what you want to see. That's Krystianer, because that was obviously horrible. But I understand why he made the play. He really, truly believed that this was okay. Like, he was cautious about it. Like, this was not like a... oh, I just dove in and didn't think twice. Like, he really was like, I'm good. Double-checked it. I'm good. And then, bam, the units showed up on either side. Maybe it was too good to be true, right? Maybe it's one of those too good to be true moments. Like, if something's too good to be true in StarCraft, it's probably too good to be true, you know? So maybe that should have been the approach here, perhaps. But I can't really, at the same time, I can't really blame him, man. I can't really blame him. Like, I get it. I understand why this happened. I understand why it went like this. Stalkers, Zealots, Colossus pulling back a little. Just repositioning for a moment as we have a little bit more setup coming through. Just going to be seeing the Liberators are already sieging. Army just relocates around. A couple of libs are going to hold up. We do have Viking Marine Marauder still coming about. The Ghost as well continue to produce at the moment. And Kira is and has been maxed out and is staying maxed out pretty comfortably throughout all of this. He's continuing to do very well in that regard. Going to be seeing the army coming back around. Zealot, Stalker, Colossus gathering up once again as we have, I mean, again, the story of the game has been Krystianer unable to take larger fights, and I don't think magically now we're just suddenly going to be able to crack out a couple of larger fights, plain and simple, to be honest. I don't think that's just going to be popping up out of nowhere as we take a couple scans at each other, we look to see what's going on. Pepper is already sieging up a bunch of these probes, so workers take a bunch of damage. 8 workers going down initially. 27 minutes deep now in this game 1 as well of this best of 3. It's turned into a banger. Krystianer still hanging on for dear life. Both players have very twisted economies at this point. 42 to 38 workers. Krystianer mining from that 12 o'clock base is kind of crazy in a way as well, to be honest. It is a little wild. Maybe seeing this Protoss force. I mean, again, you succeed in knocking the base down. Oh, it's a massive cancel, by the way. We just denied the denied that base from getting staying online and getting some more eco to it, perhaps. Obviously, keep that base alive would have been nice if those Zealots walked in. Maybe it would have been good enough for defense. This Nexus now is in trouble as well. It's just going to fall. We're just going to work base through base. Don't get me wrong, we're working on bases on the side of... also working on bases on the side of our Protoss player, but it's just not been enough. Cure sustains through and is able to get the job done. Crazy business. That was an absolutely wild opening game of this best of 3. 30 minutes. And... yeah, that was actually a little bit on the crazy side. Alrighty, guys. Game 2. coming up in a few moments' time. Then let's get this one ready to go. Our second map will be, I've completely forgotten, at Eternity's Edge. Let's get this hosted. Let's see if Kua confirms himself a 2-0 and first place in this group, or if Krystianer is going to get a chance to fight back. Whew. That was a heck of a game. A heck of a game. Who are we missing? We've lost a caster somewhere. There we are. We got them. Let's head into game number 2 then, guys. And let's see Kieran and Krystianer bring it into a second round. I'm going to throw a screen on the load screen. Well, yeah, I was a little early. I was overly excited, I guess, in game apparently. As we have at Eternity's Edge coming up, Krystianer versus Kua. And away we go. Bottom right-hand side with the 1-0 lead after the 30-minute epic. It is going to be Kua. Taking on our our Blue Pros player in the top left-hand side. It is going to be Krystianer. And 2 of our BO3, getting this on the way, and getting this started up. Excited to see where we go on this one. Let's bring this around into play. This all started. Do I have an opinion on the worker split approach? Yes, I think you should split your workers in a way that doesn't make them go behind the mineral line. I think that's the best thing you can do. Split them in a way that doesn't actively hurt your economy. More than if you'd split them manually. I don't know. Seems like a good plan to me. To make more money, yeah. So typically in StarCraft 2, one of the main things you want to try and do is to have more money than your opponent, right? And one of the key things you've got to realize is that each SCV, each worker, mines minerals. Every single time it does this little run back and forth to the blue things. So if you can start it to mine, if you can get them to start mining the minerals sooner, it's actually really cool because the sooner they start mining, the sooner they bring the money back, the sooner you can spend it on other things, right? So it's actually really cool if you can get the workers to start mining ASAP. So microing them in such a way that makes them go slower and mess around and doesn't do it, it's just begging for trouble, you know? So yeah. What was this analysis? Well, I just like to show off my game knowledge sometimes, you know? You guys don't like... You know, you try and analyze one time, everyone Twitch chat throws their arms up in the air. Shut up, we want the play-by-play. Oh, yeah. Unbelievable. We have game knowledge. What's up, Brody? How you doing, mate? Yeah, man. I watched my workers go behind the mineral line one too many times at Home Story. I was appalled. Realized this was not a good strat. This was not, in fact, it. Color Reapers are going to poke their way around as they get a move up over in this direction. So they're going to go a cruising. Just going to get after a couple of these probes. First one going down, a second one taking a couple of hits. We're going to get 2 workers killed already and the grenade to help us get out of there alive. Both Reapers should live this. We had the chance to survive one more Stalker shot, which is good. Nicely done. Blink, Warp Gate still coming up. Couple of Marines in the Wooden Mine, the Medevac coming through as well. We have the couple of units popping out down towards that natural, those Wooden Mines. And they burrow up quite nicely on the natural for a few moments here. Reaper. 1 and 2, both coming back over this side, so both again wanting to try and make something of this. I'm into it. These Reapers have been very active. They've already been seen success, and Kyo thinks he can maybe even get more. If nothing else now, even if they just run and they act as a distraction, right? That's why it's so cool to keep the Reapers alive. If they act as a distraction and bam, the Medevac is elsewhere at the same time. This 1-2 punch is it's just got a little bit of chance to actually make something happen, make something work, so 100% can be effective. And 100% something you've got to be very cautious of as Krystianer, because you do not want to let yourself be distracted by one thing too much to let the other thing really deal damage. It's kind of StarCraft 101, but it's a 101 that's much more easily taught than learned, I suppose. With the Wooden Mines in the back, the Reapers are still poised to make an entry into the natural. And it's just going to deal with these mines one by one. Oh, we sent the probe forward a little bit too soon. So we actually do end up losing a couple probes to that first shot rather than just the one. A little unfortunate. And as you just see, the Reapers do come in as well. Wow, this is now 7 workers killed. That's pretty crazy, actually. That's a lot of damage. 7 workers is a big deal, for sure. Ouch. Not great stuff for Krystianer. Not quite the follow-up he wants, considering he's down a game after the long battle. To fall behind like this super early is not going to be doing him any favors, so yeah, Krystianer, the one who has to pull it back, is already not loving his early game. Again, it's a battle for first place. I said it a couple times, but it is important. The seeding difference, I think, is noteworthy in this event. The first place seed gives you a much easier quarterfinal matchup as the Stalkers. They get through, grab a depot for a second or so, not put more work in. Marines and tanks are set up. The Raven is going to step forward as well, just trying to find a way through here for a couple seconds, and we just want to slowly push out and push those Stalkers back and eventually establish a bit of control out the front of our base. So working on that, you know, that either clears up your kind of passageway to take your third command cylinder, and you might want to put that in position, for example, right? You know, building it on location can be a very strong move. So you either want to go toward that, or maybe there'll be a different approach. So we settle in to this one. Or you just want to go across the map, right? I mean, that's also a factor. You slowly push out here, you can absolutely then go to the other side of the map as well. That also works. Tank's going to be there for the Stalkers to get shoved away. Not much going to be happening on that. A few Stalkers coming back around on toward the Medevac for a few seconds as well. You're going to see this Wooden Mine does get burrowed. Retargets a couple times to max the damage output of mining time lost. And the Bioforce settling from Cure to maybe make a bit more of a move in these next few moments. Big shove up to the top right then. We can actually lead with a couple of auto turrets here, so bringing those about initially. As we are going to be seeing this Bioforce sitting strong and doing very well. I mean, Kira just has a lot of supply. This is one of those moments where you can really notice that the the pros lost 7 workers super early in this game that you're not really meant to lose, and that was, I guess, the second round of damage. But this is exactly the sort of moment where it's like, oh right, yeah, that's happening, because yeah, that's not exactly how things are meant to be looking in this regard. Not ideal in the slightest, to say the least. Bio still pushing around. Cure's supply lead is massive. I do not think we need to see a game like we saw last time for this think here is very cozy at the moment. And probably looking towards a 2-0. Should be 2-0, 6-0 on the day. I don't believe he 2-0 Zoun. Thinking back to that game, I can't believe Zoun still went for that attack in when he did. That was a really, such a horrible fight. But he did, and hence Kira may go undefeated on the day. I mean, it's not done yet. I mean, Krystianer's continue to hold out these last few units. Maybe Kira has been a bit like me and thought things were over a bit soon and is now perhaps even overcommitted in a little bit. Maybe could have done with a little bit more breathing room and just a little bit more space. He's dealing with a couple Zarts on the other side. They get dealt with well enough, though, so I don't think that's necessarily going to have been a problem for him. Alright, well, Kira did not quite take advantage of the supply lead that I thought he would. I mean, to be fair, like I say, maybe just getting a little bit too ahead of himself. Maybe just thought, oh, I can keep attacking into this. This is fine. And sometimes the reality of that is it's not quite fine. There is a fourth base from Krystianer behind this also. Getting the fourth base up during this pressure. Pretty impressive, honestly. I didn't... You know, this is one of those times where it's like, okay, well, he survived, but what was the cost of surviving? It's like, well, he didn't get a fourth base, but no, he actually has the fourth base up and ready. So that's a big win from Krystianer, considering how this was going. Knock down this set of rocks here. Open that out a little. Oh, a few moments of calm. I've just realized we lost game music, haven't we? No, it's been that time of the stream, guys. Game music has departed us. Well, we are going to see the push around this right side and try and take position initially as we have the Stalkers. Colossus hold position as they can just fight from afar. A couple of Zelts getting to the mineral line too. Krystianer's counterattack is looking good. Damage is coming through. Just as Kira is trying to get to a moment or so here where, as you can see, he's trying to get up towards the Vikings. The Ghosts are popping, for example, but a rough couple of moments. Now the Colossus goes down. 20 SCVs go down from Kira, but he has an outstanding army supply in comparison, so I think this is a moment where Krystianer should back off and let the worker damage kind of do the talking for a bit. Because the more units you lose out on now, the more difficult it's going to be to rebuild for you, and the less impactful your worker advantage is going to be. Because now that worker advantage is going to go fully into rebuilding, rebuilding and replacing, whereas maybe before it could have gone into something just a little bit different. So it's unfortunate, because I actually felt like that was going to be quite a comfortable little push from Krystianer, and then you just kind of back away when things look rough, but he did not find his chance to back away. The Colossus in this moment is in an issue just because there's 5 Vikings, and that one Colossus is the only thing they have to hit, so they just commit to it. Battery doing some work, and a little bit of healing going once again. It's going to see this bio regrouping back around, and this time it might just be too much. 77 army supply to the 16 is indeed going to get the job done. Krystianer loses out, and that is going to wrap us up with Kua going undefeated on the day. So he did get there. It just took a little bit more work than we thought it was going to be at first. GG's. Well played. And well done. That was fun. That was fun. Alrighty, guys. I appreciate you all. Hope you've had a good day with me. I appreciate you all joining us and watching us and enjoying some StarCraft. It has been a pleasure. We're going to wrap it up there, and we will be back tomorrow with Group D. Group D tomorrow is a banger, by the way. We are going to have Rogue, Bjorn, Mana, and Hero. This is where the tournament looks like right now, with Sola, Shin, and Kura having won their groups, Yakov, Percival, and Krystianer having gotten second place. Hero looking to make it a second Protoss in the playoffs. And like I say, Rogue, Bjorn, and Mana will be fighting for that second place unless they can upset Hero. In which case they can fight for that first place too. So that's tomorrow's games. I actually love this group. It's going to be fun. Hero just basically joined last second, and obviously this was kind of a lower seed position that he then filled, so it became a really good group. So feel like this always happens to Man. I feel like he always draws the short end of the stick when it comes to the groups and Wardy tournaments. I don't know how. But yeah, that should be a fun one. I'm excited to see what Mana's doing on the new patch as well, to be fair. I think Mana's always a fun experimenting player. So that should be pretty fun too. Awesome, guys. That's going to wrap us up for today. Like I say, I'll be back tomorrow for more StarCraft. I'm going to go wrap this up, chill out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Anything else to say? We've already sold out a bit today. I already told you guys. Give us money, sub, like, follow. I think we said it all today, guys, to be honest. I guess I just said it again, but I think we're good. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for more StarCraft. I appreciate you all. It's the 23rd today, right? Let me make sure I'm putting the right replays in the right place. Cool. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Any final questions? Last chance to ask something that was maybe on your mind during the stream? Yes, no, maybe, possibly. Absolutely not. Obviously, there'll be a new YouTube video up in a little bit as well, as per usual. I think it's Solar Max Packs today in the YouTube, so that'll be cool. And my thing just... I'm trying to do replays and it's just crashing. Love that for me. I'm trying to be a good aid to the community, putting the replays up ASAP, and StarCraft is like, no, we don't want to share the replays. There we go. Alrighty. Perfect, guys. How many stars are in the sky? A lot. It's actually billions of stars in the sky. Hard to say. I'll leave you guys to figure that one out. That's your homework. Figure out how many stars are in the sky and come tell me tomorrow. See you guys there. Bye.